Welcome to Warmonger 23, Mechanicum. So we're finally sitting down to do Mechanicum, something I don't really want to do, but Robbie was like, hey, do you want to do it? And I was like, okay. So, well, you didn't take much convincing.
Yeah.
But I've been kind of like, everyone who knows, who's listened to the show, knows that I'm very down on Mechanicum in the new edition. However, Robbie is one of the people who's just like, no, they're fucking great. Under the right circumstances.
Yeah, well, this is good. You got the old, you're the veteran Mechanicum, whereas I never played old Mechanicum.
Yeah.
I got punished by them a couple of times, but I never played them, so now I'm the new Mechanicum.
You weren't ruined by having the old fucking brutal Mechanicum rules.
yeah.
And then being like, just like, nuff.
No. They were just straightforward. This is just it's complex. It's got depth.
This new one, so my just to quickly lay out my problems with Mechanicum are that they've been nerfed so many, like in several different ways at different layers of the game, especially in terms of what, like, if you look at the rules for crack grenades versus automata are fucked. If you look at the rules for weapon skill, most automatas weapon skill 3, they're fucked. Like, they've got 2 attacks. Like a Castellax has 2 attacks, and they're only hitting a Space Marine on a 5+. They're fucked. So obviously this is before what we're going to talk about tonight, which is all the cyberthurgy and the magic and all this other shit. However, just on the baseline, that's another nerf, because that weapon skill nerf was a massive change. The points didn't change there. And then what was the other thing? Oh, that's right. Also, overheating. Overheating, being at the AP of the weapon, is a massive fucking hindrance for things like Thalax, Castellax, and anything else that has like...
That is a bit spicy, yeah.
Yeah. Like Myrmidon's not too bad, but you've only got Gets Hot on the weapon that was specifically designed in the fluff not to get hot.
Yeah, but, the photon thrusters I can appreciate. They've always been AP2, but yeah, when phased plasma fusel
just suddenly
got
gets
more
hot.
Dangerous. Yeah. I'm like, wait, what are we phasing here then, guys?
It's like it's only AP3 instead of AP2 because it's specifically made not to overheat. And in this edition, we've given it the Gets Hot rule. So yeah. Anyway, aside from that's a nerf, and then just nerfs like generally across like some of the units and weapon ranges and things like that. So what I did is, instead of just like spending too much time, and that's why I'm only doing this right at the start, venting my outrage, I just put all my Mechanicum stuff in some boxes and I put it away. But then I did get a few units out just to play around with them and to test them on the table, so I wouldn't because I knew this episode was inevitable at some point.
There's no escape, Tim.
Yeah, I did playtest with a bunch of stuff, and actually early on when I had first started my Iron Hands in 2nd edition, and we suddenly jumped up to 2,500 points, I was like, oh fuck, what am I going to run? I've only got Terminators. So I added in a bunch of Mechanicum stuff and played for a bunch of games using that, Castellax and Thalax, just sort of, the staples of the Mechanicum list. 2 of the troops choices. So I've got some field experience with them. Well,
because I didn't quite just take an allied detachment, but yeah, I tried a Forge Lord with my Night Lords for a bit.
Yeah.
To ally,
yeah. That's what I did. Yeah, you're right. That's what I took a Praevian and a Forge Lord, so I was able to take Castellax, and then the Praevian just brought whatever he brought Castellax. What's the Forge Lord bring? Oh, Forge Lord brings Thalax.
Yeah. But man, Thalax with melter bombs, they are a bit spicy.
Yeah, as long as you don't have to attack, as long as you don't have to melter bomb like a Dreadnought, because then you're hitting on 5.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do a Dreadnought. no, you're there to fuck up the Spartan and then just go wee into the distance.
Yeah. Alright, so the way we're going to do this, usually what we do is we go through the Legion special rule and the Waller traits and the extra equipment and the special units, blah, 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 blah. However, with Mechanicum, it's laid out in a totally different fashion. This isn't like a Legion style arrangement. Mechanicum is like a feudal system. It all revolves around the Archmagos. If the Archmagos don't want to go to war, then basically Mechanicum ain't fucking doing shit, because they fucking have to be there to do all the cyberthurgy and shit. Like, no one else is doing that for them. They don't have just like, fucking just a cyberthurgy machine. You have to have an Archmagos leading your army. He's going to be like blasting out cyberthurgy. You can also take like secondary sort of like other junior guys, but Like the idea is your Archmagos very much is like the nerve center of your army, and I think they've kind of accentuated that a bit more in this edition as well.
I think so. Yeah, like a Marine army, you can definitely get away with just having maybe a mandatory leader for your Rite of War or something, and then everyone takes care of themselves. But
Just a bunch of tanks and shit.
My buzzword for Mechanicum is definitely synergy. It's got to synergize with this. You got to back them up with this. You got to team up with that.
Yeah. Because their basic units are so terrible, you need to synergize to bring them up to like average. Some are above average.
Well,
and there is a couple of points. There is also the mono build as well, obviously, like that we'll talk about.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that.
When we get to that. So it's just like it's so vexing. Every time, like I sat down this afternoon and started reading this, and just my fist started clenching, and I was like, "Oh God, I can't believe what you did to my boys."
Oh, don't worry, Tim. We'll go through this book, and by the end of it, you'll be itching to play some Mechanicum, and you'll be like, "Oh, actually,
it's all
maybe
packed away.
Can do that.
It's all packed away. It's in boxes under layers of felt and stuff.
We'll write you a cheat sheet for what Robo Magic to do, and you'll be fine.
All right. Okay. So with the Mechanicum, there, we're gonna go Warlord traits. Then we're going to talk about Warlord traits first, which I think there's 3.
There's the stock rulebook ones.
But
we'll breeze over them.
Yeah,
but there's
those compared to these
3
ones.
Solid Warlord traits. I think. Like,
yeah,
there's a couple of legions where I'm like, I don't want some of these, but like these are all good options.
Yeah. Next, we're going to talk about the Archmagos unit because, as we said, the Archmagos is the nerve center of your army. Although we're going to delve into the list and go through his stats, we're then going to jump into Orders of High Techno Arcana because that is actually part of his list, and it is like a major part of your list building.
Like you say, he's the nerve center, and what his speciality is what the army's speciality is.
Yeah, and this pretty much, at this point, when you're choosing your Orders of High Techno Arcana as well, this is where you're choosing what part of the Mechanicum your army is going to represent. And originally in the last edition, you had like just the basic Tagmata list, like the basic list that you could draw from, and then you had like a secondary like sub list or whatever the fuck they were called, or auto summon something for what was it, Auto Reductor and the Legio Cybernetica.
Right.
Those though are sort of just like shoved down into
they are
Orders
still
of High Techno Arcana now.
But I guess they're less like an independent list and more just specialities inside the whole list.
Yeah. So there is no more Legio Cybernetica special list with special shit. Like, oh, you get like more Cyber 30 range and you get a list and you get all that. That's just that's just basically like the Cybernetica Techno Arcana and the Cyber. Okay, so Cyber 30 is a lot more themed now as well. So there's the Cyber 30, which is the thing that will come after the Orders of High Techno Arcana. The Cyber 30 are linked to the Orders of High Techno.
Yeah, because you have well, in that example, you've got the Cybernetica High Order of Techno Arcana, and then you would. If you're doing that, likely you're going to use a lot of Artificium Cybernetica because that's your spells. They're going to buff your Automata a lot.
And some of them are also locked. Like the Reductor Magos, for example, can only take the Reductor Cybernetica.
Yes, and usually that is the case of if your Archmagos is X, he will do
He'll have
X
his own
Cyber
specific
30,
thing, yeah.
But the other dudes in your force can still specialize in other things.
Yeah. So the way to think of it basically is like your Archmagos is the general, then imagine the Orders of High Techno Arcana are almost like your Legion rule, I guess. Like this is to specify that this is this Legion as opposed to another Legion, and that's how it sort of changes there. And then Cyber 30, imagine, is sort of like essentially like psychic powers, and there's separate disciplines. But they're called something else, some fucking insane name that's like 40 characters long probably. But they're essentially like separate disciplines And we'll go through those when we get to them. But there's a lot of
touching
made-up
on
words. We're going to be saying a lot of fucking insane made-up words tonight.
Yeah.
So it may be hard to cut. Like, just listening, just listening to me and you talk just then, I was just like, fuck, are people going to be like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Yeah, I tried to practice saying a couple of the words this afternoon because, there's a lot of letters in there.
Yeah.
I will say, while we're mentioning cybertheurgy, though, we'll probably come back to this later, but very similar to psychic powers, it is a leadership check to do your powers most of the time. But if I recall, psychic power goes wrong, your unit takes D3 wounds. Cybertheurgy is more specific.
It's straight to the
majority
dude.
of cases, it's going to be that dude, but it is only one wound.
Oh,
with
okay.
with no armor, no feel, no pain, none of that.
You still get an invulnerable save.
Invulnerable.
So 3+ fun. Yeah. You'd be right.
Unless it's a 5+ invul, then you're like, ooh.
Yeah. Oh, true. Yeah, if you're using like the basic magos,
regular boy. But yeah, all right. Well, shall we?
And
dive?
then after we finish cybertheurgy, then we're just gonna go on a whistle stop tour through all the units because that's what makes all of the different things different. Like that's what makes that's sort of the biggest difference between Mechanicum and Marines is that there's no fucking Marines in the Mechanicum list. Every single unit is some sort of fucking crazy bespoke thing.
And it's your focus and how you use them that matters.
Yeah,
and we'll have that out of the way, so we just roll out the characters.
Yeah. So thank God Robbie has summarized a lot of these things because there's like, if you hear us just like fucking summarizing them, it's because all these rules, as you know in second ed, are extremely long, and the Mechanicum ones like are even like, I think in some ways just even longer, like especially all of the the explanations for the cybertheurgy, they're just like fucking insane.
I think there's one, for example, and it's like target a unit, it'll move double its highest initiative. And it's like 3/4 of a page length, and I'm like,
words,
surely it could have been quicker than that.
So not great. That kind of thing's not great for podcasts, so we're gonna avoid just reading out fucking just long passages of rules. All right, warlord traits. Oh shit, somehow I went right past the warlord traits. Oh, we should do the reaction. When do you want to do the reaction?
Well, let's do warlord traits and then reaction.
And then reaction.
That's how it's later in the book. If anyone's following along at home, we'll try and follow the book as best we can.
Easy. So they've repeated the core warlord traits as well, just before the Mechanicum warlord traits, which is nice. We're just chucking them in. You see, it's one less book you have to reference, which is
cool. Always nice. But the good ones, we've got 3 choices. Choice number 1 is Souls of Cold Iron. And personally, this is the one I like to use because it just gives me a bit of security. Basically, Souls of Cold Iron is your warlord has a 6-inch bubble around him. Any friendly units in there, if they get pinned, they can still fire snapshots, move and move and charge.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
And you get an additional movement reaction too, which I know in a lot of cases people are usually like, But when we get onto Thalax and how much goddamn movement they can do, I really rate an extra movement reaction. Yeah. Because if you run a unit of Thalax on both flanks of your army, you can then withdraw or whatever. Both of those if anyone steps to them. I really rate the movement reaction.
Whoa, really? Even over the shooting phase reaction?
Yeah, well, ironically, there's not a specific bonus shooting phase reaction. The next one we've got is the Logic of Victory. And that's basically your warlord is sitting at the back doing computations, not doing the fighting himself. That one boils down to if your warlord has done no shooting attacks and is not locked in close combat, you get a bonus reaction in every phase of the enemy's next turn.
Fuck yeah. Oh.
That one's quite good. I think but it also, having your warlord do nothing seems terrible, right? But I think the loophole there is when you do cybertheurgy, you do it instead of making a shooting attack. This warlord trait says so long as you haven't made a shooting attack or been locked in combat, you can do this. Yeah. So I think the idea there is you sit up the back. Yeah. Just literally like doing cybertheurgy, just casting spells at people.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's perfect. That's what you want. Like, when I play, I definitely have the sort of like, my Archmago sort of sits in the midfield, I guess, with a big Unicastellax. And then they just like tee off on people. Yeah. And then he would do his cybertheurgy. So that's perfect for that. It also says, In addition, a warlord with this trait and any unit he's joined gains +1 weapon skill and BS when making attacks as part of a reaction, and +3 initiative or +3 movement when making a move as part of any reaction. But I thought Automata couldn't make reactions.
Well, that's where the Cybertheurgy comes in.
Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll save that. So
yeah,
that's kind of cool. +3 initiative. Although Mechanicum shit is pretty low initiative to begin with, but a Castellax doing like a 6-inch runaway, or a Thalax doing a...
Yeah, potentially if you have bad initiative, you're doubling it. But also on the flip side, not to harp on about Thalax, but their jump packs give them a bonus to any movement reactions that they do.
True.
So you would be doing their initiative +3 plus another 6, and suddenly it's just like, oh, those Thalax are there. Oh, they're not.
So that's the unit he's with. So having this guy in a unit of Thalax.
Yeah, like with a jump pack,
with a jump
which you
pack,
can do,
and then just anyone comes near him, they're just like, see ya.
Yeah, I think
they can just Overwatch with +1 at BS5.
I think we like mathed it out one day, and like if you did a unit like that, did a full move, did a long range charge, and then also did like a long range withdraw like that, your unit moves like 36 inches on turn 1 or something ridiculous. Like, it's outrageous. They're just zooming around the board like planes.
Yeah,
but that's a niche situation too.
But that does sound good. Like, that gives you, if you want to have a character who just like zooms around, he's hard to pin down, and he's buffing a unit that he's with to keep them alive, and then also just giving out extra reaction in every single phase.
Well, and that's it. I think like potentially if you did not want to invest big in your Archmagos, if you want to keep like a reasonably low key guy, this is fantastic for you because you just keep him at the back and keep him alive. He's swift if anyone does try to catch him, and just having double reactions in every phase. That's pretty all right. That's pretty all right.
And he can still be Cybertheurgy because it says shooting attack.
Yeah, so he can't make any shooting attacks or be locked in combat. But to do Cybertheurgy, instead of making shooting attacks, you do Cybertheurgy. So my understanding is, he can Techno Wizard to his heart's content.
Yeah, that's hot. And why would it be the other way? That'd be so lame. That'd be lame as fuck if it was the other way around.
Yeah,
like,
just
what the fuck? That's all he does is just give extra reactions. What the fuck's the point of that? Thanks for nothing. Like, this is useless.
Well, I have a question for you though. Actually, I'm not sure about this one. It says him and his unit gain +1 ballistic skill and weapon skill for any reactions that they make.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't understand the weapon skill fully. So I wondered, like, if you hold the line, does that count as a reaction? Are you weapon skill +1 for that combat?
That's not a reaction.
It seems like a stretch, yeah. But maybe it's to do with some like special reaction that...
It says when making attacks as part of any reaction.
Yeah.
Is there a Cybertheurgy reaction or something that allows that? No.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Write in if you know what kind of weapon skill you use in a reaction.
Weapon skill. Maybe is there a Cybertheurgy where you use your weapon skill to attack at range or something?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can't think of it at all either. Could be future-proofing.
Maybe. Yeah, just sounded good when they put it in.
Yeah, if you know, write in ihoruspodcast@gmail.com. All right, last one, Science of Slaughter. I think this one's cool.
It's certainly got the coolest name, right? Like,
is this the auto-include? This is the one that I always see everyone using.
Well, and that's it, like... I can kind of see why, like, because, okay, so fundamentally, it is quite good. Every round of combat that your Archmagos is, a part of after the first, so, second, third, fourth, he just stacks a weapon skill and a strength.
Yeah.
Like, so it's +1 in round 2, +2 in round 3, +3 in round 4, till that combat ends, and then he resets and
or he dies,
up to the next thing. Well, or he dies.
Or he just gets decapitated. Yeah, it's interesting. This is the one. This is the one that Leadham was running when I had the Adamus assassin.
Oh yeah.
So the Adamus, what is it? The Adamus has something where his weapon skill goes up every turn or some shit, and then this guy was also it's
just an arms race.
Yeah, so I attacked Leadham's character, and the first turn I was hitting on 3+ because he was weapon skill 5, because I was weapon skill 5, but then he went to weapon skill 5, so we're both hitting on 4s, But then he went up to weapon skill 6, but the Adamus rule is that I then go up to Adamus up to weapon skill 6.
Matches him,
so he just kept getting faster and faster, and my Adamus was like, yeah, I'm getting faster and faster too. Oh shit, gotta keep up with this guy. And then the funny thing is we played for fucking, like, it was like 8 rounds of combat before one of us killed each other.
Lord.
So we would have been like both initiative 10 just fighting at like light speed.
Goku would be proud,
It's pretty hilarious. So yeah, the escalating weapon skill and strength as well really makes you... And when we talk about war gear in a second, on the good old...
Wow, yeah, if you've got like a chain fist or something on that, that's...
Chain fist, or even just a Paragon blade, going up to, after a couple of turns, at strength 6 or 7.
Yeah, well, and that's it, like... Also, you get a bonus assault reaction with that, which I guess is good for overwatching and stuff. But, I don't know, for my personal taste, I don't love that one, just because...
Really?
Well, that's it, like... I feel like it's the inverse of a chaplain. A chaplain affects your whole squad, makes them all hit more in the first round to try and break that combat, bust through the enemy line, sweep into the next thing. Whereas this is almost like, oh well, it didn't go great, but we're just bogging them down. Yeah. So my one guy is just going to get angrier.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that many attacks. I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, absolutely can be good. Like, can be just wild when your dude's just attacking with strength 12 or something is pretty spooky. But and more than anything, I think the gaining weapon skill is a big deal, because notoriously Mechanicum don't have a lot of weapon skill, so just accruing more weapon skill would definitely pay off.
Wait, what does the Archmagus Prime start at strength 5 as well?
Yeah, strength is 5, yeah.
So with Chain Fist 10...
Yeah, and then you add on top of that,
So it'll go to 12, 14, blah, blah, blah. Because the Chain Fist time... Yeah, it does. Because it's...
Would you add before your multiplier or after?
Yeah, before. Because it increases the model's strength.
Yeah, that's true. It's not
and the Chain Fist is timesing by 2. There are rules now to go up that high, but it's only for like vehicle penetration. You always fail in a 1. Oh, no, wait. No, vehicle penetration you don't always fail in a 1.
No, because it's just your strength plus, and then you're trying to beat the value.
And you count as strength 10 for the purposes of actually rolling to wound, but for armor value, if
it
you're
keeps going.
Yeah, if you're like strength 14, you just auto-penning like a Land Raider.
You know the downside to that though? This lasts while you're locked in combat, and you won't be locked in combat with a vehicle for multiple rounds. It just drives away.
No. What if if a knight charged in while you're locked in combat or something?
Yeah.
Ugh. Well, you get 1 turn. Well, no, because it's the
don't stress, Tim. When we get to the end of the army list, I'll tell you how to punch a Land Raider with strength 14 combat weapon anyway.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's in the bag. Mechanicum have got it.
All right. Well, okay. So instead of taking the Cynical Science of Slaughter, which one do you suggest?
Well, I mean, I like
Depends on your army,
Souls of Coal Iron, just because it sort of ties in with my army. But I think if you can make that Logic of Victory work, that's going to help you on your road to victory. Like, just all those reactions, and honestly, just having a high-end Cybermancer up the back, doing good stuff can pay off. Yeah,
so we should say Automata cannot make reactions.
Unless you either
Cyberthurge
Cyberthurge them, or they have the Guardian subtype.
Yep. Which is like Skill Axe,
Yeah, which is like Skill Axe and a couple of other things. And basically that means so long as they're protecting a character, his, Cortex controller or whatever helps to motivate their synapses, and suddenly they can make reactions, as well as making excellent bodyguards. Like, even if someone tries to snipe that character, Guardians will always jump in the way. Like, you can't snipe him out, of that.
But... Other things in the army Thralls can't do reactions because that's part of their rules.
No, they're too dumb,
But Myrmidons and Thalax can do reactions.
Because they are just infantry.
Yeah. So I think before I might have said Mechanicum can't do reactions, but what I meant is most of the stuff in the army can't do reactions.
Yeah, but many things can't on their own.
But what you can do reactions with is Myrmidons and Thalax, and that's pretty much... Like, they're the only other non-automata thing, right?
Yeah, Myrmidon Destructors.
Myrmidon Destruct, obviously, yeah. And just other
that's definitely
priest units.
The front runners. Well, ironically, the priest units are full of automata, but they are Guardian. They come with a character, so... Yeah, so they kind of can.
They can,
Yeah.
So, this Waller trait giving you a reaction in every phase isn't like as retarded as you would think.
That's
like,
true. It's not just your whole army going nuts.
Yeah.
On the flip side, for anyone who's ever been intercepted, return fired, and overwatched by a unit of Myrmidon Secutors, it's pretty fucked up. It's not a good time.
Yeah. So interesting. So while we're okay, do you want to let's do their advanced reaction.
Yeah, good idea.
And then while we're on the topic of reactions, we also might just quickly cover like the fact. Well, I'll just say it right now that augury scanners are very prevalent. Like basically all
I was
of your.
Say they are hard to come by.
Are they hard to come by now?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but all your maggots, all your HQs
basically
can take
your
them.
HQs can take them, and that's pretty well it.
Oh, really? You can't take them on like your basic. On the basic unit?
The tech priest might be able to, but
okay.
no.
I guess they can. Yeah, okay. Well, but what I was thinking is though, like each of those three characters are like historically going to be in a unit of Castellax,
in pivotal units,
or some sort of fucking big motherfucker unit. So attaching a guy who with an augury scanner to like a big like I said, I always put my general in a 5 Castellax. That's like a big amount of interception.
On the flip side, though, if you had 5 small units of single Castellax or something, then you struggle to find augury scanners or anything for them.
Yeah, but I've noticed that lots of armies I've played against have had like tons of just ability to intercept at least, like even if their weapons aren't like.
Well, and I feel like early on in Horus Heresy 2, like everyone went, "Oh my god, these are out of control! I need them everywhere," and it was annoying, to be fair, but now everyone's kind of calmed down. They're like, no, we'll put one on the heavy support squad. Like, every tactical squad does not need this.
No one ever fucking teleports right on top of me.
Yeah.
So just that is something I think to look out for against Mechanicum, is just the sheer amount of like interception. And I'm not saying it because every single unit can get it, but because the hardest hitting units, they're big Castellax units. Darkfire units, things like that, or a character in a unit of fucking destructors or secutors, they'll just fuck you. Like if you try and drop pod like 10 dudes next to them or whatever, or fucking deep strike like a 15-man jump squad just near them, you're fucked. Like they will punish you if they can. Definitely ask everyone which units have augury scanners, and then also which units can actually make reactions and which units can't make reactions. True. And then ask them to put a token next to the unit once they've cast Cyberthurgy that allows them to make reactions.
Please make this extremely clear for me. Yes.
Yeah, because it'll definitely get confusing. Because like Castellax, for example, you might put a tech priest in there. The tech priest doesn't give that unit the ability to do reactions just by being in there.
No, he'd have to.
But he might have
take
an augury scanner. He could react, right? So because he's got an augury scanner, so he could shoot out of the unit and react. However, the unit can't although he does, it doesn't just allow the unit to just automatically intercept. You need to have the ability to do reactions, and that comes later.
And honestly, like the point of, if you're unsure what Mechanicum are doing, asking your opponent to put down tokens or whatever, just to make it really clear who's got what when.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's good odds that the Mechanicum player will be like, actually, that's a really good idea, because I'm struggling to keep track of all this crap as well. So
there's a lot of stuff. Any way you can make it easier for the other person, if you're not ready to just if you're not like super switched onto the rules, then that's better. Because otherwise, if no one likes playing a game against someone and you don't know what their list does, and they're just really and they're only just started playing with it.
Every time you do something, they're just like, oh, actually, no, my guys do that. I thought they didn't do that. Oh, yeah, but these ones do, because
they have interceptor and stuff. Yeah.
All right. But all right, speaking of intercepting, advanced reactions.
Yeah.
Scornful Fire is the Mechanicum advanced reaction. So basically, it's classic advanced reactions. You get to do it once per battle. It's in the shooting phase. And basically, if someone targets a unit that contains an independent character, you can return fire with it, as well as a friend within 12.
Whoa.
And
that's the errated version, right? That's the errated version, right? Like of what it... Because didn't they have to errata it to explain to people how it worked? or to confirm how it worked?
I'm not sure, actually. I'm
Okay.
just reading straight out of the book.
No, I believe what you're saying is true, but I believe that's been, like, they've also errated it to, like, summarize it the way you just did.
Oh, yeah, probably, yeah. Well, I mean, check the errata, but fundamentally, yeah, that's what happens. So, yeah, everyone who's played Mechanicum is probably afraid of Myrmidon Secutors full of plasma fusils and grav guns or something similar. And so, yeah, that's what I often do, is have that unit in the middle of my army with my Archmagos, and then if someone shoots at, like, my Thralls who have a Magos in there, or someone else that has an attached Magos, it's like, don't you pick on my boys. And yeah, they just assume I can shoot at fucking Thralls. They're just dickheads with chainswords.
Yeah.
They're not going to shoot back at me. This is fine. And suddenly they're just crossfired by all these plasma guns. So yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Now, it's every friendly unit within 12 inches of the target unit, right? That's the way.
Oh no, it's just one.
Oh no, it
friendly
says
unit,
any
I
though.
think.
It says any. Any friendly Mechanicum units eligible to make a reaction within 12 may make a shooting attack targeting the unit that triggered the reaction. Isn't that the...
Oh, maybe it is. Jeez.
Yeah,
Well,
I believed it's everyone. I think the errata is like... The errata is pertinent to like which fucking... 12 inches of what? Because it just says any other friendly units within 12 inches may make a shooting attack, but it doesn't say of the target or the shooting that or the actual
like
unit
people were like,
that's
can I
doing the
daisy
reaction.
chain it or something?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the unit that is doing the reaction, like your general's unit. So it's not like you shoot at me and then I have only my units within 12 inches of you get to shoot back. It's any 12 units within 12 inches of me get to shoot back at you.
Wait, sorry. So yeah, friendly units within 12 of the target.
Yes.
Return fire. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my understanding.
Yeah, but not the target of the... yes, correct. Yeah.
And
it's
like
the target of the reaction is the wording there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See how this is. See how these fucking reactions are. See what this has done to us.
Reaction. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. So the original target. So I have a whole bunch of my buddies. They have to be within 12 inches of me to shoot back at you.
Okay, hold on. Are you a space marine in this
No.
scenario?
I'm the Mechanicum guy.
Okay, you're the Mechanicum.
You're
I'm a space marine shooting at you.
You're shooting at me. And then my friends, so my units, who are eligible to make reactions
within 12 inches of
12 inches of me.
Yes.
Of
the
then going to shoot
target.
at you. Yes, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all on the same page.
Yeah. It's just that people have like interpreted it as within 12 inches of you,
of the shooter,
of
rather
the Marines.
than the shootee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. I think it's definitely of the target. Yes.
Boom.
So yeah, well, we've now made that far more confusing for everyone than it was before. But do it; it's a good one.
It's fucking super powerful because if you have just a unit sitting there with your general, it's any unit with an independent character too. So like theoretically, you could have 3 units in your army. Each of them has an independent character, so you can't shoot at any of them without just being
then the
shot
other
back by
2
all of
return
them.
fire on their behalf.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I found.
In addition, so all 3 of them return fire.
Oh well, yeah.
So imagine just like having 15 Darkfire Lance Castellax, and as long as you keep them within 6 inches of each other in a triangle, any of them that get shot at, all 15 of them just immediately go like, nice try. That's 30 shots hitting on 2. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, in my experience, like we say, there's several things
shit's always out of range.
Do reactions. So usually it's if someone shoots at my thralls, because they're like, I need to thin these 30 thralls down. There's too many of them. I'm like, well, you're gonna pay for that, and I return fire with the one unit that's hanging around with them to cover their back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically, like I said at the start, it's all about synergy. You know, if you shoot at one guy, his friends shoot back. They're all about friendship at the Mechanicum. You know, friendship and lobotomizing people.
And turtling up.
Yeah.
Especially turtling up with Darkfire Lances and shit. Alright, so, onto the Archmagos Prime.
The big dog himself.
So
basically there's 2 versions of the Archmagos Prime, both of which are 0 to 1 choices. So essentially you need to choose whether you want an Archmagos Prime on foot, or pay a few more points and you get an Archmagos Prime on Abeyant.
So it's kind of like the, Praetor on in Artificer versus Praetor in Terminator Armor.
Kind of, yeah.
It's just a separate entry with different stats.
Yeah, except you get
Slightly different stats.
2 more bonus wounds for the Abeyant.
+1 tough.
And an extra toughness, yeah. As well as the monstrous rule, which sort of adds a little bit. The regular Archmagos has firing protocols 3, so he can fire 3 guns. Whereas if you really kit out the one on the Abeyant, he can just fire all of his weapons, no matter how many you can squeeze onto him, which is kind of nice. But yeah, Archmagos are pretty good. Oh, also the difference between the Abeyant and the guy on foot is the guy on foot obviously gets slightly less stats, but he can take more orders of the high Techno Arcana, so he can take more specializations.
Yeah, and that's because some don't want to have an Abeyant.
Yeah, exactly. Like a Myrmidax Archmagos, for example, is basically just a mega Myrmidon man. He's not looking to take an Abeyant.
Yeah, he's looking
to march around with the rest of his Myrmidon friends.
He's not riding on a giant snake or something.
Yeah.
So stat wise, only weapon skill 4. So very, very low for a Lord character. Almost every other Lord character for a sort of a lead HQ character, such as a Praetor or a Shield Cap or something like that. They're all like way above him in terms of weapon skill. Obviously, there's that the Warlord trait we talked about earlier. That'll slowly allow you to level that up. But don't expect this dude to just be like slamming into the units and chopping through them unless you upgrade him with a specific one, right?
That's it. Yeah, you can make him a bit fightier, I believe. You can give him weapon skill 5. But yeah, he's
more of just like a fucking he's really
an
hard to kill
force
motherfucker
rather than like a surgical tool.
Yeah, in this new version as well, where like ranged weapons and shit aren't fucking shit anymore. Like you can take like the main shot from like a from a fell blade or something like that, like the anti-tank round, and just be like, just 3+ it, whatever. Like fucking a lot of things just aren't gonna fucking kill you as well. Especially if you're on an Abeyant, you're toughness 6 base, so you need to be strength 12 or more just to get that instant kill. So you can take strength 10 shots to the face. You can take like a punch from fucking like a brutal 3 punch from a Dreadnought and shit, and you can actually stand up to a Dreadnought at least for a couple of rounds. I've found.
Yeah, I mean if you got the chain fist.
Yep, you got that 3 up. So you might be able to, but I think you're going to find it hard to actually kill a Dreadnought, and if you don't want to be in that position, especially you don't want to be fighting it just on your own. If you've got some dudes to help you.
Yeah, you want some big buddies to hang around with to back you up.
Dummies or something to back you up. But it's always like extremely hard to kill character, especially in the similar to last edition, except in last edition they were fucking like really, really hard to kill, and this edition there's way less stuff that can there's way less just D weapons. Like D weapons aren't just like, oh, I rolled a 6, dead now anymore. There's knights aren't the shit anymore. Like a knight's not going to just charge in fucking you're auto dead. They're not going to like auto stomp and remove you. Like tons of ordnance weapons and stuff. You're not going to get caught by like a lucky hit from a fucking lucky hit from a Medusa and just die anymore.
Yeah, you're not sniped by ordnance. They're firing for effect instead.
Yeah, so I feel like they've actually gotten tougher and harder to kill in this edition.
Well, that's it. We've talked about like the unexemplary weapon skill, and honestly it only has 2 attacks, which isn't wild either. But leadership 10, very solid. Strength and toughness 5 base, very solid. BS 5, because he can take a few guns, also very solid. And like 2 up armor with a 4 up invul. It's quite good.
Which is always going to be a 3 up.
I was going to say, you always want to take a cyber familiar to make that a 3 up.
To fucking auto include,
for 15 points. It's incredible, but honestly, I think that's it. Like, there's so much good war gear you can give these guys too. It's not just give him a shiny sword and push him out the car. Like, what do we got? Like we said, he's one of the few guys that can get an augury scanner.
Rad grenades, very fucking good choice.
Very good choice.
Only 10 points. Like, imagine just like 10 points, and he can be in a unit of Castellax or Domitars or something. So it's just like
Myrmidons,
fucking, that's craziness.
Well,
Paragon Blade, another fucking good choice, especially with that fuck, what are these things? Warlord trait we were talking about before, where you get +1 strength every round. Your basic Paragon Blade starts at strength 6, and after 2 rounds it's strength 8.
And that's it. Like, he starts with a Serpenta and a power weapon. He can change both of them out for this pretty sizable list. Like, yeah, Paragon Blade, Chain Fist, Corpusant Stave, Power Fist. But I love trading the Serpenta for a Photon Gauntlet.
Yeah, that's
because like we've mentioned, weapon skill is not going to be a strong suit in this army. I realized it's not about being better than the other guy. You just have to bring him down to your level. If you can force enough blind checks on the enemy, they will fail some of them.
Yeah.
And you can have weapon skill 2. So long as you blind them and put them at weapon skill 1, you're still hitting on 2s. Like, you'll shred up someone if they can't see.
Just watch out. The only thing to watch out for on that Photon Gauntlet is...
It does get hot.
Yeah, it gets hot.
But you got a 3-up invul.
Gets hot at APT. Yeah.
It's fine. Forget about it. Forget about it.
Sure, you'd be alright. It's 2 shots. It is really... It's a good weapon. Like, fucking, I've always taken that on my Myrmidex, dude. Just like a Chain Fist, Photon Gauntlet, Mastercrafted Photon Thruster. And just like, when someone's close to you, those 4 strength 5 and 6 AP2 shots. You can just kill half a squad of Artificer dudes. Like, see ya.
And not to mention, I just love the idea of just this mega Robo Man just like holding out an open palm and just boom,
just blasting out super hot particles. And then you come to the classic thing, which is from last edition. Basically, it's barely changed at all, actually, the equipment here. But you have the option to take one of the following. So this is where you need to choose between Servo Arm, which you're never going to do, Incunabulum Jetpack, so that allows you to jet around.
That's it. That's the same jetpack that the Thalax have, which is the fastest jetpack in the game. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good. It increases your movement, it's really good. Conversion Beamer, which you might take in some builds if you really do want to sit back and just blast shit. But then most of the time, if you want to sit back and blast shit, then you're probably not doing Cyberthurgy. And Cyberthurgy is an extremely powerful tool. So
yeah, that's
kind of like
that conversion beam is a great weapon, but I don't pick it for this guy anyway.
It could be
because you can get
it's got a super niche use. Yeah,
you can get conversion beamers in a few spots throughout the rest of this army too. So like, it's not like a do it now or miss out. There's
the only niche use I can think of it is, you know, that mission where you've got where you've got to get into their deployment and they've got to get into your deployment. You basically just like penetrate into their deployment, kill shit, and then use the beamer to shoot back into your own deployment,
and sling it back,
and try and kill them off your deployment.
Yeah,
this is like Graviton Imploder, which Graviton Imploder in this edition is still gimped. It's still just pile of shit.
Yeah, it's kind of just like a 2-shot grav gun without the
It's
blast.
like 3-shot, yeah. It is AP2, but it's like Graviton. So it is slightly better. I've got to admit, it is slightly better now that Graviton is roll under your strength instead of a strength check.
True. And honestly, I think it's just for shooting at dreadnoughts, right? Like,
yeah,
it's 2 shots that'll be haywire because they're Graviton.
No, they're not haywire. That's the thing. Yeah, it's not haywire. See?
Oh my god.
Just fucking, yeah. So they gimped it. At some point, they gimped it. It used to be basically exactly the same as the 7th edition Graviton gun, where you just rolled on the armor save, and then you rolled to wound on the armor save of the unit, and then it was AP2 built in. So you would basically, like against Terminators, Primarchs, all that sort of shit, you would just crumple them into a little ball and just kick them into the fucking sun.
However, no, they have squeezed haywire onto Graviton Imploder.
Oh, haywire's on there now.
It is on there.
Ooh, how many shots though?
But it's only 2 shots, AP3. Oh my god. So yeah, Dreadnought's still not gonna care so much.
Yeah.
Against other Mechanicum stuff, it could hurt though.
It is better than nothing though. Now, knowing that it's got haywire, at least that's slightly better. What you used to be able to do with that Graviton Imploder as well is against any vehicle on a 6 that you gave them an immobilized result.
Oh, that's nice.
And the rule was that if they had an immobilized result, any further ones were a hull point, an extra hull point. Okay. So you could just hurl,
just tore it into the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. So
only range 18 though. It's,
whatever. Yeah,
it's
maybe if you've got the model or something.
Let's face it. What you really want is this Machinator array for the same cost.
So 25 points, which is the same as a Sea Beamer or the Imploder. The Machinator array is amazing. It's not like fucking super mega great anymore. It doesn't give you the toughness and the
it doesn't give you that. But what it does do is take your guy with only 2 attacks, give him a couple more.
Yep.
And it just gives you a flamer and a melter gun at the same time.
Yeah, that's so good. Increases your your battlesmith save as well.
Also that, which can come quite in handy later on if you do choose to use that.
It is. I find it really weird that they gave that to Iron Hands, and then were like, but then they obviously toned it down for Iron Hands because they got rid of the toughness bonus and shit. Like, I can't give that to them.
Oh yeah.
And then when they gave it to Mechanicum,
they
were like, oh fuck, no, we already did no, we already set the toughness of it. Oh, I'll just give them basic one. Give them
It'll
the
be
one.
fine.
Yeah.
No, I think it's definitely a good choice though.
Yeah. So you used to be able to take that, like if you took the Machinary Array and the Abeyant, then you went to toughness 6. And then that was like, did the Machinary Array just make you toughness 6? I think this Machinary Array was +1 toughness, so that made you toughness 6, which made you like immune to like strength 10 shit. So you were just like, you can't kill me with your stupid fucking whatever. Strength 10 little.
I'm a robo man. You can't touch me.
Yeah. But yeah, those 2 attacks. So you get 2 attacks that are strength +1, AP2 with shred. And also Armor Bane, which are kind of cool.
I think the wildest part was in like the early errata or whatever they did. They just said, like you can use that stat line, or you can just you can just use that weapon.
Attacks, yeah,
just add 2 attacks to your profile.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's fucking even better.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I haven't been doing that with my Iron Hands guy. No, I think they said that you could use that weapon to attack with. You can make all of your attacks with it.
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the errata is. Because I would have been getting an extra two Thunderhammer attacks on my Iron Hands guy.
I don't know.
No, what it is...
Well, even like if you just start at strength 5 and you add +1 strength with shred and AP2, like...
Yeah.
Fantastic,
strength
right?
6 straight up.
Especially if you've got rad grenades. Think about that. That's,
and they almost
terrible.
always do something like, as long as you can hit with them, like that shred is just almost always... The AP2 is really good. The Armor Bane means that you can reroll. Well, I mean, Shred would mean it as well, but you can reroll to wound against Automata. So yeah, really nice. And then that Armor Bane against vehicles, just rolling 2d6 +5. Although it's not like super great, like you will get just like you'll get just double 6s every now and then.
That's it. It's enough strength that Armor Bane will. Yeah, you'll get there. And I mean, if you're just worried about not hitting with all those attacks, just Mastercraft it as well.
Yeah, so the big choice there is between the jetpack, if you want to be a mobile boy, or the Machinary Array, if you want to be like just an all-purpose. For everyone else, basically.
Pretty much,
like,
yeah.
You definitely want to take one of those. Like, I've never, like, I've list hammered up. There's probably been one time, like my Lacrimata tech Archmagos, he doesn't have one of those. I actually gave him the fucking Graviton Imploder.
Oh, right.
Instead,
okay.
Just because I was like, every single one of my other Archmaguses have that shit. Yeah, because it's just like why would you not take it? Like, it's so fucking. It makes you actually able to stand up to, and it makes like a fight against a Praetor actually interesting, rather than just like, shit, I'm probably gonna fucking die here.
Yeah. I'm just standing here waiting to die. Yeah.
And then there's one additional weapon category where they can take one of these weapons, or if they're a
Myrmidax, you get to take 2.
Take 2, yeah.
But they can't take the Rad Furnace, sadly.
Oh, they can take 2 Rad Furnaces.
I guess there's too much meat left in a Myrmidon.
Oh no, you're taking the fucking double furnace Archmagos, you beard motherfucker. So yeah, so Rotocannon, Graviton Gun, Melter Gun, Irad Cleanser, Phase Plasma Fusel, Photon Thruster,
or the Rad Furnace.
And the Rad Furnace, yeah.
And what I like about the Rad Furnace too is it's a bit like Rad Grenades, just enemy units locked in combat with you just get +1 to wound them, which actually then stacks with Rad Grenades because they just drop your toughness, like it's a different thing.
Is it just you, or is it the whole unit gets
No, so it's not even you or your unit, it's enemies locked in combat with your model.
You. Yeah, that's sick. It's 30 points though. 30 points is big... And for a model you don't want to get into combat.
Well, I mean, depends.
Yeah,
depends.
Maybe you do. Maybe you want to be a fucking just be a wrecking ball. But that makes it so fucking savage. Like having that just on a dude who's going to hang out with some automata, and then just like, what are you going to do? Come fight me, and then I get +1 to wound on top of all that other shit. Like, gotta wade through all my fire.
Well, you've also got the rad grenade, so essentially getting +2.
Oh, and the rad grenade.
Yeah. So yeah, even if they didn't have high strength, you're looking at 2s to wound regardless, basically.
Yeah, see, all of that stuff takes Castellax from a 2 up to like a 3.5.
That's it. It's all about synergy.
We need more though. We're going to need more synergy there. Just shoveling more synergy.
But all right, let's get into the fancy stuff, right? So I'm looking at the plain Archmagos. He gets the long list.
Mm-hmm.
Orders the high techno arcana. He can choose from Archimandrite, Cybernetica, Laceramata, Macrotech, Malagra, Myrmidax, or Reductor. So basically, those are your specializations. Those are your rights of war, for lack of a better term. And so, no, I've gone the wrong way in the pages.
Surely there's
they're after the Cyber
easy to find. Oh, they're after something.
So yeah, first cab off the rank is the Archimandrite. This guy is the big head honcho. In the blurb at the start, it basically just says like in the society of a Forge World, these boys are at the top. Everything runs through them. They are like the heart and the soul of a Forge World. If they don't want to go to war, no one's going to war.
Yeah.
And so I'll be honest, actually, when I first looked at this, I sort of dismissed them because I was like, oh, they don't have any exciting rules. It's fucking rubbish, whatever. But what they actually get is, if they're the army's warlord, they can actually take a Mechanicum allied detachment, which is interesting because normally you can't take an allied detachment of the same army that you are. So this is like an exception to that. So you can basically take this guy, take a Mechanicum army, and then also take another Archmagos, which again normally you can't do, and he can take another specialization, and you get to double dip. And then along with that, he's plugged into everything. So he's the master technomancer.
So you can, but that second guy can't also be an Archimandrite there.
No, you can't chain
Oh.
Archimandrites.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can take a second Archmagos, which is
that's fucking nuts.
in the list.
Interesting. So because previously you could not double dip in the same list. You can't have more than one Archmagos.
Yeah, normally you can't even have an Archmagos and an Archmagos on a Baiant because they have a rule called Fuel Hierarchy, where basically it just says like, no, one of these dudes is in charge.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, go to the south side of the planet and talk to that Archmagos Prime.
Jesus.
Like,
yeah. Okay. So, okay. All right. Okay.
But yeah, okay. So they basically do more Cyberthurgy.
Most additional arcana.
Well, that's it. Most Cyberthurgists choose one law, so to speak.
Yep.
And they can do that. These guys pick two, which is pretty cool. Gives them a lot of versatility. And then throughout the whole army, all models with the Battlesmith, they can add the following rules whenever they do a Battlesmith roll. And so until the end of the shooting phase, the target unit may make shooting attacks using the ballistic skill of the model that successfully used the Battlesmith.
Which would be BS5 off the...
Well, yeah, it depends who's doing it. But
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What I did think about that is... I talked about forcing a lot of blind checks, brings people down to your level, down to your bad weapon skill and whatever.
So you're saying anyone with Battlesmith can then just boost the BS to their... Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Okay.
So I believe if, say, your Thanatar gets hit with a blind weapon, gets blinded, if you then use a Tech Priest to Cyberthurgy him and do this, he then uses your ballistic skill, and you're not blinded, so I believe you get to make a clean shot, basically looking through someone else's eyes.
Don't see why not.
Or, alternately, you use like a Magos with high ballistic skill and use his anyway.
Yeah.
And you got the choice of that, or until the end of the shooting phase, the target gains Power of the Machine Spirit for any vehicles that you want to target, which just lets you shoot all your guns at all the different targets. So that's
not bad. Yeah,
it's not bad. And then one that gets a lot of flack is the High Order of Cybernetica. This one's nice and straightforward. Basically, all your Castellax, they all gain line. And they're already troops. So yeah, basically, every Castellax Battle Automata gains line. Also, network sensorium protocols I think could be pretty scary. When making shooting attacks, models with the automata unit type in this detachment that includes a model with a special rule reduce the benefits of a cover save by -2 If the model making the shooting attack is within 12 inches of 2 or more friendly Cortex controllers.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking crazy.
Well, that's it. Like, you can put some big weapons on Castellax, primarily. But also, if you're taking, like, engine seer units, they're surrounded by servo automata.
Yep.
Which, again, are Guardian automata.
Yep. Lots of melters and shit.
Yeah, you can just have a unit of fucking conversion beamers at the back of the table near two Cortex controllers, and just no one's getting cover saves.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because ruins are only fucking 5+ now.
Exactly. Yeah, you just clean it. Unless they're in like a hardcore bunker, you're just removing models, which is few and far between these days.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because they did take away the targeting. You know, remember they used to have targeting upgrades for every single thing?
Well, there you go. They didn't take it away, Tim. They just moved it. They just moved it.
Interesting. But you do need to coordinate that. Like that, you're gonna need to carefully make sure that your units that are shooting are within within Cortex range of those two controllers.
And that's it. It is very much about coordination and overlapping lanes of fire and bubbles of whatever.
Does the Cyberthurgy range extend or anything like that?
It doesn't extend.
Doesn't. Okay, yeah.
But what you do have for Cybernetica is preservation protocols, and like we say, you need those guys with Cortex controllers alive. Any model with this special rule, in addition, when he's joined a unit of automata, any wounds that would be allocated to the character from precision strikes, snipers, any of that, you just put it on an automata instead.
Yeah. And so an Archmagos doesn't come with Patris Cybernetica, so they can't actually join a unit unless they are Cybernetica.
And I think the difference with that is, I think the guy on the Abeyant can, because he's monstrous.
Oh, okay. So
he can join just a unit naturally without being Cybernetica.
Oh man, so you can but if I want to just take like a normal
guy on foot,
Cybernetica guy on foot, join him to a unit, and then you can't even precision shot him.
Yes, that is just that guy though, not every Cybernetica in the army. Yeah. But it basically makes him sniper proof. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice.
Interesting.
So third on the list, we've got Laceramata. Now this is my go-to. I love Laceramata, the flesh smiths and all that.
Yeah.
So they've got some interesting rules, but I think it really comes into play when we get to their Cyberthurgy, because that's some good stuff.
I ran this guy in one game before I realized apparently it was illegal. But I don't know. I'm still not fucking convinced that it is illegal.
What was illegal about it?
The wording of the... So I took an allied Lacrimata force.
Yeah.
So that could take a Lacrimata guy, because his shit plus his Cybernetica is fucking out of control. So his rules...
Oh, I see.
So imagine this. So I've got my Iron Father in Terminator armor, and Warmonger, 10 Terminators, and then I also added this guy. This guy, any hits allocated to a model with a special rule, or any model with the infantry unit type in a unit they join, hit with rending, poison, or fleshbane, it only affects them on a 6 instead of their usual effects. So it's just like, oh yeah, fucking suck my dick. Like one of the only, like anything that's rending, like Scorpius missiles or those fucking phalanx blades.
I think the real big one there too is fleshbane, because usually that's a 2+. Like you just nerf that into the ground.
Yeah, so that would be fucked off. You can use the Battlesmith also to enhance a unit. So you can restore a wound.
And that's the thing, right? Or you can do a move twice their initiative characteristic.
Yeah, so you can either... So I could be like, oh, my Iron Father's wounded. I'll put a wound back on him. Or, the unit may immediately... So take a Battlesmith roll, obviously. But the unit can then immediately move a number of inches equal to twice the initiative characteristic of the majority of models in the unit, which would be 4, because they're all termies. Fucking free 8-inch move. It's not running. Therefore, if the unit did not run... Then they can make shooting attacks and declare a charge as normal for the remainder of the turn. So, technically, I could teleport down with Deep Strike. In the shooting phase, he does his Battlesmith, and then I move my unit forward 8 inches. So there's just nowhere to hide. Like, even if they get to place me 18 away, and then I shoot and then I charge, because I'm teleported.
I know. I've done it with Myrmidon.
Oh, you've done it? Yeah, but I was trying to do a teleportation as well.
I don't know if you meant to join some Space Marines and do it, but...
you can only choose like some You can only.
Well, this is the irony,
wait, what the
right?
fuck
If you read a little bit further, actually, though, the Cyberthurgy probably only targets Mechanicum. But basically, once you get to their Cyberthurgy, this Sanguine Hook lets you take the Ephemeral Siramata, and essentially it does that same movement thing, but just a bit better.
Yeah, so that one is worded Mechanicum unit only.
Right,
However,
whereas the Battlesmith one is just a friendly unit.
Battlesmith one is just a friendly unit. However, there's a bit in here where it says, where is it? There's a sentence that basically says, like, I don't know, it's not entirely clear to me, but someone told me that it's interpreted as any of those Techno Arcana rules can't be applied to anything that's not Mechanicum.
Which is
fair
sense,
enough, because it is psycho as fuck. And like,
I was going to say, also self-moderation. Let's not put 4 high-end characters in one unit to terminate
It was when we were getting slammed by Maragals and all that sort of thing. Anything was possible back in those days. But yeah, apparently, I don't know. It was probably Harley who was just like, oh, fuck, that's illegal, I'm looking it up. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not entirely sold on their actions, but fair enough. I just stopped playing it.
Fair enough.
It did look fucking sick, because I had that dude in there. He's just like, yeah, I'll come with you. Oh, yeah.
At least it made some sense for Iron Hands. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If you're playing Salamanders and doing it,
there was a narrative reason.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they'd engaged the Black Quantum to get to buy some flesh, and he was coming along to ensure that an extremely important mission was accomplished, which required no one to die because he was so good. But yeah, anyway, so yeah.
All right, war crimes aside.
Yeah, if you want to play if you want to make friends, just play it that none of that shit can affect Marines, and don't do that, because some of them are so good. Like, what you can do though is you can just join, like, straight up, like, I could just put my Myrmidax dude in that unit. There's nothing saying he can't join them. He wouldn't give them hatred, but he's got he's a fucking Archmagos, like, so they'd be like my Iron Father, an Archmagos, a Warmonger plus plus whoever dudes. That is pretty fucking strong.
Well, and that's the big thing too. Like with that Battlesmith roll, you can restore a lost wound to the unit. It won't bring back a model, but restore a wound in one's lost.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that in other places. Yeah. Oh well, that's it. You can do that in other places, but it's only for automata.
Yeah.
The Siramata are the fleshsmiths, so they can actually do it for like anything. They can do it for infantry and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice.
For actual living people, yeah.
Yeah. And if you choose to go down that path later on in the Cyberthurgy, one of the disciplines, basically you do a Cyberthurgy check and you apply the effects twice. So suddenly if you're doing... Oh, actually, sorry. Oh, and I think that one you do your Battlesmith effect twice. So, yeah, suddenly you're getting 2 wounds back instead of 1, which is quite good. Quite good. But all right, next on our list is the Macrotech. These boys are the Engineer Supremes. They're like, I don't know, building buildings, I guess. So basically...
So these used to be in the old edition. You could take one of them as your general, and then... as your HQ, and then that would allow you to take the basic Tech Priest units as troops.
Which
really
they
cool.
do again.
Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, you can take your Tech Priest units as troops. The only stipulation is Tech Priest Engineer units have 3 specializations, and you have to choose the Engineer one, which basically means they get better Battlesmith. So yeah, they're good at fixing stuff up. Yeah,
that was always like a really good allied thing to have, because it was just like a HQ and a troops, and that unit you could put like 2 Magos in, and then so combined you would have 3 Battlesmith rolls. One of them was a 3+ and 2 and a 4+ or something. And then that was just like an nice allied thing. You could just chuck in like a super heavy transport just to sit in it and just regen up to 3 hull points per turn.
Yeah, well, now you've got that. Yeah, you can take Tech Priests as troops, but then also, well, actually, before we get to that, before the battle begins, during the setup, but before objectives go down, basically you can just pick 3 pieces of terrain and just move them how you want them to be.
Ooh.
Well, within reason. Like, I think you can move them up to 6. You can move them up to 6 inches. You can't just pick them up and fuck them off somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get to
say. I hope it doesn't say within reason in there, because like that's
a broad
suggestive.
But no, yeah, it lets you just move that building out of the way a little bit so you can get that line of sight that you want. which is a nice, that's a nice touch. And it does just state, if both players have that, just roll off to see who goes first. But
spoiler alert: no one ever runs that, so probably always going to get it. If you are the person who does take it.
But if you did, every model with Battlesmith in the detachment, they get to repair buildings. In addition to units with the vehicle, dreadnought, or automata unit type. In addition, they add the following effects when they do battlesmith a building or whatever. And basically, breaching, exoshock, and rending only work on a 6 rather than whatever you would normally roll. So I think, for this you could get a bunch of Engine C units hidden in buildings with automata with big guns, like conversion beamers, and then just fix up the building every turn. If anyone tries to blow you out of your building, just whack up some planks on the window and keep it going.
Or you can just throw some battlesmith, throw some force breaching down to a 6+ on something. If somebody's coming towards you with a plasma gun squad.
When you battlesmith, I think you get that on top of it. In addition, they have the following
it's just
effects.
an additional type of thing that you can do.
Oh, to the list of options they may apply to the model. I beg your pardon.
Yeah. So if you're
talking tech priest squads, you're probably going to have several battlesmith rolls. So you could repair a hull point and fortify.
But you could be sitting there like babysitting a Thanatar, for example, and someone's coming towards you with a big plasma gun squad, and then you just go like, breaching on a 6 instead of I guess they need a 6 and breaching to wound the Thanatar. They need 5/6. They go to a 6.
Maybe they got a rending 4+.
Yeah,
and then
true.
It's only a 6, yeah.
You could be getting like pounded by Scorpius and just throw that on some Myrmidons, stop them getting rending 4+.
It's an interesting one. It makes you good at
there's a lot of like
anyway.
little things like that where you're like, if I could get that to work.
That's it. If I can just leverage that somewhere over here, that'll be really good.
Sometimes you don't even need it to work. All you need to do. Oops.
Part of the seams.
Gelderfield breach. Is that better? Can you hear like a weird?
No, I think it's all right. Actually.
Okay.
I can't hear.
Hello. Test.
Technical difficulties.
Oh shit.
All right.
Hold on. I've lost the. Okay.
Lost the feed.
Test. Hold on. Let me just write down the time so I can edit that out.
Jiggle the cables. Yeah, we're still there. I can see the bars jumping about.
What were we talking about?
Macrotech. They like to fix things. They're nice little boys. The robo boys with servo arms.
All right, I'll jump to the next one.
Yeah, Malagra. What do we got for Malagra? Malagra are what I can only summarize as combat bots and like techno assassins. Basically, their whole deal is
they're like the Mechanicum Inquisition.
A little bit, yeah. Their whole deal is like any character units. They can upgrade any machinator array or servo arms they have to have an inbuilt prehensile data spike, which is basically. I'm trying to think of a good movie that did it well, but it's like a data. It's like a scrap code injection needle, I guess.
But you can just inject it into people and shit as well.
Well, actually, there's a lot of things like in the Cyberthurgy and stuff that have the data gen rule, which basically mean they only work on vehicles or dreadnoughts or something like that. But this prehensile data spike is actually, you can stab it in anyone. Turns out you inject scrap code into a real brain and it fucks it up too. But it's like just a free extra attack at like strength 5. Only AP 4, but then it's breaching 4, murderous strike 6+, and it's fast. It has reach 2. Oh, which kind of balances out the unimpressive initiative of Mechanicum. Like you're actually going to beat people to the punch there.
Yeah, you just want that 6 to wound and like just blasted too much energy into my brain.
Yeah, just a lucky chow.
Like in the Matrix, if they just uploaded everything into someone's brain, just burned them out.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And basically they just kind of lean more into that. If you take tech priest units, they get to what do they do? They get scout, and then you can upgrade them all with murder spikes. And then the Techno Assassin, which we'll come to soon, is usually an elite's choice. It can obviously take the Murder Spike, and then instead of taking it as an elite, you can take it as a HQ, and you can take a trio of them, which a bit like a Dreadnought Talon, deploy together and then run off to get up to Mischief on their own.
Yeah. That's it's interesting. The only downside to that is that once they run off on their own, they're just fucking running around on their own because you can't.
Yeah, just weird little solo dudes.
If you take a single one, then they can then have like a boyfriend coterie of like. Well,
I suppose they could still like run off and join other units, but I don't know.
Oh, I don't think they can. I don't think they're independent characters.
Are you sure?
They are just Magisterium Majestica or something. Magisterium.
Well, while we're here, it is. Yeah, they have a character. Oh no, you're right, character, not independent character.
Independent character.
Oh no, sorry, special rules, independent character.
Oh, they do have independent.
Yeah, they're fine.
Oh,
they're
okay.
Fine.
I guess it's not too bad.
I guess in the default, their subtype is just character because normally they're just an elite's choice. But then I guess that's there for when they become a HQ, or is it just there so they can join units? It's very strange layout, that one.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, I'm just looking at the Magos. No, yeah, the unit type is infantry character. Independent character is in the special rules anyway.
Oh,
so they can join units. They're fine.
Yeah, interesting. But they can't they can't start in them though. They've got to go and join them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what unit are you going to join them to? Like thralls, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean they got movement 7, which is faster than everything else, which is kind of 6, but
it's
still not wild.
Now they can take those guys in particular, those Magisterium guys. They can take a little coterie of.
They can take either Arlatax Battle Automata or Vorax Battle Automata.
Yeah, and then Vorax are like movement 8, right?
I think Vorax are pretty fast. They keep up pretty well.
So in the last edition, if you attached somebody to Vorax, they lost fleet, which is kind of annoying.
Where is it? It's around here somewhere. Vorax. Yeah, they're movement 8. And they have fleet 2, yeah.
So they would lose the fleet.
But you're right.
They would keep the scout, at least.
Yeah. Well, if you had the trio, though, you'd have to, probably deploy them together.
Well, you can't have them with the trio, though. That's the thing. Because there's no... How would you split them up and stuff? Like, there's no...
Oh, true, because, when they don't start with them, they're automata.
Unless they just start in a big unit.
Assassin doesn't have Patris Cybernetica. Oh, but it has a Cortex controller, so I think it can join Automata.
No, that doesn't let you join.
No?
No, it's Patris Cybernetica that allows you. But they can take it as a boyfriend unit and just join it, like it's a bodyguard unit or something.
Yeah, if you just take one dude, yeah.
If just with one dude, yeah. So it's interesting, I don't know, like, so to go back to the Milagro upgrade, it does give you...
I don't know, yeah, basically if you just want a bunch of, like, crazy tech assassins running around.
It doesn't give you the +1 weapon skill and shit anymore?
It down the bottom, the Archmagus himself goes up to weapon skill 5 and 3 attacks.
Okay, cool.
So it makes him
slightly
scarier.
better.
Along with preferred enemy characters, Precision Strikes 5, and Monster Hunter. So yeah, he's a proper stabby boy, I suppose. But yeah, so Malagra.
I think he's cool, and at least that is a theme as well that you can do, because you've obviously got they've added to that Malagra theme. I think those Magisterium unit is the only new thing in the actual list that they brought out. So.
I will say the only disappointment with Malagra is those cyber assassins are only loyalist, so you can't be a bad guy and take the stabby assassins.
Yeah, good.
You got to wait for the.
It's because they're in the Inquisition,
expansion with demon engines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. If you want a more fighty, if your idea is that you just want to have an Archmagus who actually fights shit, that's basically the one you want to go for.
Pretty much.
Because even the Reductor one used to be a murderer in close combat, but the Reductor one's just pretty basic now.
Yeah, the Reductor one's. Well, we won't jump ahead too much, but it's interesting because it's kind of. It's all right. Like I feel like a Reductor army can still do well, but the Reductor dude himself doesn't seem that pivotal.
No, compared to the Blast when he had his own stat line and it was like all just like maxed, like super weapon skill 5 and all that sort of shit.
Cool. Oh yeah, you can put. So the Malagra guy has to be the guy on foot. He can't be on an abeyant, which kind of makes sense. you're not much of an assassin if you're floating around on the top
And what's
of a
his
combi
movement
van.
if you want it? He's only movement 6.
Yeah, everybody's movement 6, and for a lot of them are heavy too, so they
Milagro
can't
doesn't
run.
give you +1 movement or anything?
No, just weapon
So
skill and attack.
he can't even keep up with the Magisterium guys either.
True, yeah.
Hilarious. It's like the Custodes and the Sisters being like fucking Sisters are only movement 6 and Custodes are movement 8. So
Yeah, that feels bad.
2 inch. Like, how are they meant to fight in pairs? Like, the chick just has to jump on his back and like ride him just cling on his back when they're moving. Like, we've got to go. You know, like when the hobbits are on the back of the dwarf,
treants, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, treant. Or when the those gobbo dudes are carrying them. Whatever they're called.
Oh, yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah, so interesting. Oh no, it's this.
Oh.
Look.
Yeah, I heard that there too.
That was weird.
I think we're back though.
Yeah, we're back.
Nothing like some tech issues. Alright, well, shall we cover the cheese strat?
Yeah, so the mono build strat, yeah. So if you're running, if you see a Mechanicum army in the wild, go up and say to them, which Archmagus are you running? Which order of high techno arcana are you running?
Yeah, what flavor Mechanicum have you got? And if he says Myrmidax,
yeah, then just punch him with it. No, I'm just kidding. No, Myrmidax is basically the mono build. If you really want to just like devastate people, this is the one to go for.
And ironically, like as you say, there's very much kind of a mono build. People just put as much firepower into this army as they can because they can squeeze too much firepower into this army. But honestly, I think you could run this and build a good army around it without just like squeezing every Myrmidon you could in.
Yeah.
But that's
the thing is this rewards you for taking Myrmidons, so why wouldn't you? And Myrmidons are sick as fuck, so why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, I love Myrmidons. I've got a whole Myrmidon army as well. But it's like the issue is it's the only fucking build that people take because it's the only one that isn't sort of like pretty like meh.
And
I think
honestly, like aside from the overwhelming firepower, I feel like this is fraught with a bit of danger too. Like,
this one
if you lean all the way into Myrmidons, basically the way this works is Myrmidon Secutors become troops, and you can also take Myrmidon Destructors as elites as well as heavy supports. So you just have just fill up everything with Myrmidons.
Oh man, if I could have done that last edition, I would have fucking done the fuck out of that.
The issue with that though, nothing's scoring, right? The only thing that's scoring is you have to take a Thanatar Calyx.
Line, yeah.
And everyone standing within 6 inches of him, they count as line.
Yes.
So like if you do this mono build, you are scoring in one location, and if they can actually take down this Thanatar, which to be fair is tough but not impossible.
Correct. Yeah.
Suddenly it's like, cool,
no one
you
has
have to table me or you lose because like you didn't bring any scoring troops.
Yeah, but well, that's the thing, no one's taking just Myrmidons there. If you look at all the lists, they do have the core of just like maximum Myrmidons, but then they also have just like tons of Thalax to make up for it. That's what I've seen.
I've seen just
oh really? You've seen just Merms?
I think so, yeah.
I've seen a bunch of armies that have Thalax and Merms.
I was going to say maybe there was some Thalax, but it was real close to all Myrmidons.
Well, you wouldn't have to play many missions before you realized like, oh shit, and like, because like if you're trying to hold 5, say there's 5 objectives, there's no way you can hold more than like 2 of them if you're and then you'd have to be conga lining your shit out to stretch between objectives, right?
Yeah.
Usually, if they're 12 inches apart minimum.
Oh, and no, but that's the thing though. You can't even string them out like from one side of the Thanatar to the other because it's units that are wholly within 6 of the Thanatar Calyx are scoring.
Oh fuck yeah!
So,
you
very
can't
much
get more than one.
The unit bubble wrapping the
shit.
Thanatar, they're scoring, and everyone else is just on murder time.
Yeah, but I mean, all you need then is just some scoring stuff because those Myrmidons will just chew through shit. Probably like you can have Darkfire Lancers, which used to be only on Castellax, are now available on Myrmidons Destructors instead of Photon Thrusters.
Oh, on the Destructors.
The Destructors went. They used to have Thrusters, which are a fucking extremely good weapon, but then they just went, let's just upgrade them to an even better fucking weapon, which is insane. They did half the range though.
Right.
And I think a Darkfire Lance used to be 60 inch, and they brought it down to. I think they brought that one down to 36, and then they brought the Photon Thruster from 48 down to 24. So they have reduced the range, but that's so much firepower you can condense. Like that many Darkfires
What for? Darkfire Cannon is sitting at 36.
Yeah, 36. Yeah. So it used to be 60.
Yeah, Strength 7, AP 2, 2 shots, blind, lance, and gets hot. That's pretty alright.
Yeah. So your only enemy there is fucking a wounded AP2 when you get hot after you if you've got just multiple dudes shooting
But
off.
yeah, I mean,
but then Myrmidons have 4 wounds each now. So.
Or yeah, I mean, if you're doing Mournival, they've got 3 to be reasonable.
3 at least, yeah.
And honestly, still that is enough wounds. Like
you
do not need 4
there were 2
wounds
in the last edition. There were 2. Yeah. Like what the fuck? Yeah, on 2 they used to be really good. Like toughness 5, 2, and a 3+ armor save and a 5+ invuln. That is a pretty good unit. But they were like, we give them 4. Like
give them 4. Yeah, I'm like
4 wounds. Dude,
they're tough boys, but like the models aren't 4 wounds big.
They're as durable as a Castellax, basically. Like they're only 1 toughness less than a Castellax.
And like half the size. It's very bizarre. Yeah,
like a Myrmidon
they feel
is
appropriate with 3 wounds.
Yeah, a Myrmidon's more durable than like a Myrmidon has more wounds than a Vorax. Like a Vorax is only 3.
Yeah.
So Myrmidon is more durable than a Vorax. That's insanity. It's craziness.
Yeah, because they
don't explode when they die like a fucking
true.
Automatons do. And they can react and they can do all this other shit. And they're BS fucking 5. Like they're fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty fucking good.
So I do because being a Myrmidon person, I've always been about the Myrmidon cult. One of my 4 Mechanicum armies is a Myrmidon cult, the Sons of Curates. And I've always, probably less than half the time probably, but a lot of the time I have run my Myrmidax, Archmagos Myrmidax. And he was good before you could take like Secudas as troops. Like I used to have to take the Secudas as a rare choice and stuff. They've increased how good Secudas are. Destructors are slightly less good because they don't have
they lost the power fists
everything.
And stuff.
Oh yeah, don't have power fists, and they don't have preferred enemy everything anymore.
Yeah,
which is a big nerf.
But still, they are BS5.
Very good.
Like,
they
don't really need the reroll.
Extremely good. So that Myrmidax definitely that's definitely the build at the moment. Like it's just obviously the good one. Yeah. If you want to just exterminate gun pigs, that's the one to go for, I think. Which makes sense because most of the time you're going to be exterminating gun pigs.
That's true. There's a lot of gun pigs to exterminate.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that we've finished yelling at Myrmidax, basically it's you take a Thanatar Calyx without Paragon of Metal. He's your Wicker Man in the middle. He lets units wholly within 6 count as scoring. Or Myrmidon units, count as scoring. Also, you gain +1 wound to combat res in the assault phase, which is whatever.
Every now and then you'll remember that and be like, fuck you, I win by 1 now, fuck your draw.
But the Archmagus himself becomes basically Mega Myrmidon Man. He gains Hatred Everything, Bulky 3, and he increases his wounds to 5, which is quite good because we talked earlier about like the guy in the Abeyant, and he had like 5 wounds, and it was like, oh no, only the guy on foot can be Myrmidax. Basically, you don't get all of the bonuses of the Abeyant, but you get those 5 wounds, so you're not missing out on much.
Still pretty good.
I'm
just looking for my rule book because I believe last time I looked it up, Hatred doesn't fucking apply to the unit anymore.
No, I think it does because that's what a Chaplain does.
No, Chaplain gives the unit Hatred and Stubborn and shit. I believe so. Let me just double check that.
That's an interesting point. Yeah.
I remember looking it up and being like, oh man, if he still gives him Hatred, because I looked up specifically because I was like, I can ally him in, teleport him down to
Warmonger,
Warmonger,
making the mega unit
give
even
Hatred
less.
to my but.
Here we do Hatred.
Oh, you got it? So Robbie's got the actual physical books, which are very easy to find.
The rule.
It just says models with this
is
rule,
presented as Hatred X, where X defies a specific foe. If it doesn't specify a foe, blah 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 blah. Yep, you might hate Mechanicum. Okay. A model striking a hatred foe in combat rerolls all failed to hit rolls during the first round of each close combat. The effect of this special rule only applies when a unit that has it begins an assault phase not locked in combat and then either charges or is charged. What the hell? That doesn't feel very clear.
Yeah, because if you look up some of the other rules, it actually specifically says applies to the unit. Like it says a model, at least a unit with at least one model with this rule. Whereas hatred does just like, oh, yikes.
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't state that it shares it, does it?
Yeah,
interesting.
exactly. Yeah, it's weird, right?
Oh, well, still, I mean, I guess it makes him...
Yeah, it makes him a
angry.
fucking murderer, yeah.
Yeah. Because, yeah, you can still give him all that Archmagos gear.
Yeah.
All those fancy weapons.
I used to run my Archmagos. I'd have the unit of 4 Myrmidon Secutors with him, even though they're an elite's choice. And if you charged a unit of Terminators or something, you just fucking annihilate them. However, on several occasions, I was like, the only way to fucking maximize the fucking bullshit I can do is split off him from the unit of Myrmidons. They'll charge a unit. And I was like, oh yeah, every time I've charged a unit, they've just destroyed them all. It's been fine. But then they would split off, and the Archmagos would be fine, because he's got hatred and rag grenades and all that shit.
Yeah.
But then he's just like, they're like, okay, cool, time to throw the oh fuck, oh but we hate the oh fuck, and then they would just be like, and then just swing their weapons around like useless motherfuckers. I think Myrmidon's even got an extra attack in there at some point.
Let's see what they're
I think they've got
sitting on
3
right now.
base for Secutors now. So
Elites, Tech Priests.
but back then, yeah,
3 base for a Myrmidon Secutor.
yeah.
Oh, and it's fine because they themselves have hatred everything.
Oh, they do.
That's
okay.
why
Phew.
when he becomes a Myrmidon, he has hatred everything.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
makes sense.
appropriate. Yeah.
But you can't chuck him in with the Battle Brother unit of, say, Iron Hands and give them hatred. Which
No.
is what I was... Yeah.
He's
Which
just-
is why I
he's
went with
just
the
seething on his
Lacrimata.
own
I
in
was
the
like, well,
corner.
if we can't do that bit, oh shit, then I'm going to fucking take Lacrimata then.
Hell yeah, yeah.
Lacrimata was the toned down version. Yeah, so... Myrmidon's very, very good. Can't give his hatred to a unit that does not have hatred, though. So if he was to join a unit of Destructors, they don't have hatred everything, do they? Destructors don't.
I don't think so, no. But I think hatred's only in combat anyway. And you don't want them in combat. You want them at the back shooting guns.
Yeah, exactly. But eventually they might get into combat. Yeah,
Could happen, but you
might
know.
be forced into the...
Basically, it's up to the Archmagos at that point anyway.
Yeah.
What do we got? Knights, Kreos, Myrmidons. Yeah, they're just stubborn. They're just stubborn motherfuckers.
Interesting. All right, and then what's the last? So the last...
Oh, right. So then
Techno-Arcana?
lucky last is Reductor faction. Or High Techno Arcana. So, a little bit similar to earlier, we had the Macrotechs, who we said, you know, like building the buildings and repairing them and patching things up, and they're doing the Lord's work. Yeah, Reductor are the opposite of that. They're here to knock shit down.
They sort of there used to be a thing called the Ordinator that is gone in this edition, and they've sort of just kind of made it as if the Reductor is the Ordinator, which is like, I don't know. There was definitely, I thought there was like a
place for it.
Yeah, I thought there was a nice distinction between those two. Like, not all fucking Siege Mechanicum guys are Autoreductor. Autoreductor are like their own like fucking fabulous thing. But, you know, whatever. I guess like if you weren't like into the like tiny little distinctions and shit, then you might just not care. But yeah, no Ordinator anymore. So no more like dude who gives armor bane to all of his weapons as a bombardment and all that shit. He was fucking sick.
Well, actually, it's not quite armor bane, but yeah, like if you take Tech Priests with Reductor, yeah, you get similar things to that.
Yeah,
you get Sunder and Wrecker and all this stuff, yeah. But alright, Reductor, they like to knock shit down. Demolisher is their first special rule. So basically everyone in your force that uses Battlesmith, they get to use these following effects. So they can choose a building or a model with the vehicle unit type to just lose a hull point on a successful Battlesmith roll. Or they can inflict a wound with no saves of any kind on a Dreadnought or Automata. That's pretty good if you've got a few rolls in there.
Yeah, if just one's sitting on one wound and you can just like, pass the leadership test.
Or if you just want to like rip a weapon off, you can just automatic weapon destroyed but no hull point.
Yeah.
Or alternately, rip the wheels off, immobilized but no hull point suffered. So like they're, you know, if you're up in some vehicles, that's some pretty nice options. And then yeah, similarly, like we were saying, Macrotech get to move some terrain around. Reductor just choose some terrain to fucking ruin. Basically, they choose, I think it's 3 bits of cover. You just don't get cover saves in them anymore, and they are difficult and dangerous terrain.
Yeah.
And then, finally, the Archmagus himself gains the Artificia Reductor Cyberthurgic Arcana, which is fine. And he takes that, but no other Cyberthurgy.
See, that sounds cool. However, there's some Cyberthurgy thing where you can do a Battlesmith at range.
Yes.
Within 12 inches, which is just like, holy fuck, that's so fucking good. Imagine if you combine that with the Auto Reductor guy who can do an automatic weapon destroyer or a hollow point or blah, blah, blah. However, that's a different kind of cyber.
It is. Yeah, I believe that's the Artificia Machina.
Yeah, it's not the Artificia Reductor Cyberthurgy. It's actually the other one, whatever the fuck that's called. So,
that being said, the Artificia Reductor, it's got some decent stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, I really quite like the Artificia Reductor. Their first power is the Portafractus. And essentially that's just you get within 12 inches of a vehicle or a building, just anything transporting people.
Yeah.
You pass a Cyberthurgy check, they immediately disembark and take a pinning check. And so if you're running like a Reductor list full of like tanks with big guns, you're like, cool, I'm going to open my shooting phase by taking a Leadership 10 Cyberthurgy check. All your shit's going to fall out of your vehicle and possibly be pinned. And then I'm going to pump every tank I can into the dudes flailing around on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's got the flare-shielded Spartan. Oh, that's hard to bust open. Just tell them to get out.
Yeah.
And then, of course, if that doesn't work...
Can you pass me a rulebook? I just want to look up
the
Battlesmith rule. Do you think it's in the rulebook?
Yeah, it's in the rulebook. I looked earlier.
Man,
it's on the page with the pictures of the blast templates. But yeah, so if that doesn't work, basically, then when you get into combat, you can take a Cyberthurgy check to manifest this fucking Cyberthurgic weapon, which is basically just designed to punch a hole in the side of a tank. You're looking at Strength 10, AP 1, Armor Bane, Exoshock 3+, but then to watch out for is it is a Datagen, so it only works against vehicles and dreadnoughts and etc. And it is unwieldy and cumbersome, so like it's a big wind up. Well, that's a pretty big hit. It's probably going to do 2 penetrating hits.
You know, I'm thinking isn't there not a rule where you can't move within 1 inch of?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's
an enemy unit.
No, you can't move within 1 inch of like a friendly unit.
But enemy units too, right? You can't just
if
be
you
within
charge
an
them,
inch.
that's fine. But like for this one, where you're telling them to get out, that's a 12-inch range on that.
Oh yeah. But I'm just thinking like sorry, not the Cyberthurgy, but the Battlesmith, where it says like
right.
Battlesmith specifically says you have to be in base-to-base contact with a thing to do a Battlesmith to it.
Yes.
And you can't be within an inch of a friendly unit because you meant to have the whole
you
like
need them to be in your unit, or you need to do the Cyberthurgy to do ranged.
Yeah, so
things,
you charge a vehicle. No, because you're charging the assault phase, and you're doing this in the shooting phase.
That's true.
So how are you going to fucking...
as good.
How are you going to be... You're going to have to move... No, because you can't move within an inch of an enemy unit.
No, you have to charge them in the assault phase,
so, I don't know if there's an errata for that. I just thought of it I just realized, like, oh, no, Battlesmith says base to base. Like,
it's kind of annoying. But then also, like this Demolisher rule where you take a wound or a hull point or a weapon or whatever.
Yeah.
That's everyone in your army because you're a Reductor army, and then your Archmagos, he's taking this hop out of the vehicle spell.
Yeah.
But then other people, they can take the Artificia Machina, which is the 12-inch range Battlesmith. So they can then cast Battlesmith at things and just strip hull points off people.
Yeah, okay.
Not to mention, I think when you do use that Artificia Machina power, you basically double Cyberthurgy, you double the effect. So you would be taking 2 wounds with no saves of any kind off a Dreadnought.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's not bad for one cheeky leadership check.
Yeah. Leadership 9.
Yeah, it's only range 12, I suppose. Like it's danger close for a Dreadnought, but it's it ain't nothing. But alright, so that is all of your orders of high techno arcana. That is all the flavors of Mechanicum you can play with these days. Next, we have cybertheurgy that they do, which is where it gets even more interesting and slightly more confusing.
Even more confusing.
But
Okay.
I need another drink. Shall we pause for a moment?
Yeah, let's pause.
Restock, and
back
we'll do
in
some
a
spells.
Alright, so the next part is cybertheurgy, and that seems to be like one of the keys to victory. I think like with the Space Marine army, psychic shit is there, and you can take psychers, but you're not forced to take all psychers. Whereas this is almost like all of your your HQs, or most of them are psychers. You need to figure out how psychic phase works, or you're fucked. And then, so if you don't know what cybertheurgy is and you don't use it, you're just playing with like one arm behind your back. Like I've literally overheard a table where people are like, oh yeah, he's got cybertheurgy too, but I can't be fucked reading all that. And I'm just like, okay, if you want to play that way, that's crazy.
So you paid for it, whatever.
Yeah. So like even this kind of shit feels to me like how like a Thousand Suns army should work, in that like they should be doing psychic shit, and you should have to like.
Yeah, because they have so many psychers, but then they all seem sort of independent, don't they?
Yeah, because they've got all these psychers. This full psychic legion where everyone's a psyker theoretically, but then they're all just like, I'm gonna cast like fire hand, like and shit. Like, wouldn't they just like come together and have like an overarching like strategic fucking thing?
Yeah. Team up and pull down a Commodore Cassandora or something classy like that.
I think the trap that like Forge World keeps getting into is when they write the Thousand Suns rules, is that they're just like, let's just make everyone a psyker, but then and then
and that's it. They've had to make the psychic phase that way for everyone else to make it like what it should be for them. But then it's like,
they made all the squads not really the same thing. I think they should just go totally metagame with how the Thousand Suns work, and just like this is like. Not even like a Legion Astartes faction almost, the way it plays. Should be totally different. And more like this cybertheurgy is what I'm trying to say. Is like, at least your commander doing strategic moves using psychic shit.
Yeah.
It's like you're still taking a psychic check, but you're not doing one of the fucking fireballs or whatever. You're doing
I guess that's it. For Thousand Suns, they did give them their own like, what were they, like the sub law things.
Yeah, but that's...
But like they could have just made actual just their own laws. That,
exactly,
like,
yeah.
But then again, I mean, I do remember seeing Thousand Suns players that, it was just like, they were just, oh, this unit's buffing this and this and this and blah, 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 blah. And it was hard to keep track of. Of course, that's when the psychic phase was like a one-player phase of the game. Yeah. And you just walked off to the bar to get a drink while they did it, and you just came back and said, all right, who's strength 6?
Yeah, because there's no point in rolling trying to dispel. Oh, you need to roll 3 6s to stop this. Okay, cool. Just fucking do it, dude.
Next.
I'm not even gonna. I don't even have 3 dice. Like
exactly.
Whereas they could have. Well, when they redid the edition, what they could have done is made like for each of the laws, made one spell that affects like a single dude, and made one spell that affects a full unit, and then a single guy can either cast the one that affects him or the unit, and the unit, if they're psychers, can cast the one that affects the unit. Boom! Just fucking simplified shit for you. That'd be super fucking easy. But I would still say, on top of that, I would want to have like my generals doing this cybertheurgy style shit, because like when I look at this stuff, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's cool. Like, if they can commune over great, like just any distance with psychically, it'd be so easy to concentrate. It'd be so easy to have these things. I take a leadership check. I'm gonna fucking like try and, blah blah blah. I just feel like, imagine just reskin cybertheurgy and give it 1,000 suns. Just go, there you go. Fuck, this is cool.
Yeah, do some techno magic here.
Yeah, something like that. Like, I mean, this cybertheurgy thing, like, I mean, it's pages and pages of stuff with like descriptions of what it does.
And what
stuff.
I really like about a lot of these too is like, there's like half a dozen like laws, so to speak. But for the most part, they've all kind of got like a buff spell thing, and then also just a weapon that relates to that. Yeah. And like a lot of them, obviously it's technomancy. It's, robo magic. A lot of them only affect something that an impulse would fuck with. Yeah. But like, it's nice to have them all with a weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
And a thing. Like, largely too, because that means in a lot of cases you can do the buff in the, the movement phase, and then use the gun in the shooting phase.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of value.
Exactly. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, being able to do one in each in more than one phase is fucking great. The weapons, you're always like you've got to weigh them up against like.
So yeah, some of them are a bit of a pocket strap.
Like I've already got 2.
Yeah, I've already got a chain fist. I don't need this.
I got 2 photon thrusters. Why do I need a 12-inch like chance of D6 fucking dodge and hits or whatever, you know?
But then again, like when you're just little boy Magos suddenly pulls one of them out.
Yeah, that's true.
Pretty impressive.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So even a little boy Magos can use them. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So describe what they are though. Like they're essentially they're like essentially the same as a psychic thing. You still take a leadership check. If you take
it does operate the same way. It is a leadership check to cast.
If you roll a double 1 or a double 6, you take a wound on your model specifically, like Robbie mentioned earlier.
And only in vulnerable saves, yeah.
Yeah, only in vulnerable save. But doesn't it also... Oh, no, okay. No, continue.
Okay.
I thought there was some interference or something if you failed as well on the unit or some shit.
Actually, sorry, that's a good point. I believe if you fail and take the hit, you do need a pinning check as well.
Unit gets pinned or something, yeah. Like something bad can happen to you.
Cyberthergic feedback. In addition, the Cyberthergist and any unit he's currently part of is immediately pinned. It's not a test, they are pinned.
Can you pin a fearless
losing his
automata
mind.
unit? If he's with automata, can you?
Ooh. That's interesting.
Because I believe I played.
Here we go.
I played a game and I went to fire all my Secuitors and shit, but I tried to do some fucking Cyberthergy for some reason and I fucked it, and then my whole unit just couldn't do anything.
Okay, so it says here, if the Cyberthergist is a model with the vehicle or automata unit type, then it suffers D3 hull points of damage or wounds against which only invulnerable saves may be taken instead, but the unit is not pinned. But that does kind of specify himself rather than the unit he's with.
Well, how would he ever be an automata though?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's no automata that can do Cyberthergy, is there? Oh, yeah, no, there is. The Dark Angels thing. The Dark Angels one.
Oh.
That's an...
that's not
but is that an automata? No, that might not actually be automata.
That's an abominable intelligence, isn't it?
No, there's some...
something?
I believe...
I don't know.
I think...
I don't like Dark Angels.
I don't know which of the 4 different books I need to look at for its rules.
Yeah.
Check. Oh, it's a PDF, right? Well, while we're just like talking about Cyberthergy, I might as well just look that guy up, because it is the best fucking unit in the game, because it's the only unit that uses 4 separate books to gather all of its rules together.
Yeah, if someone's going to be bothered to use this guy, you know they're excited for it.
Yeah, plus, dude, those things are fucking sick as fuck. Like in book 9, when like...
Oh, they're hectic, right?
Like one of the just like pieces of fluff is that when shit gets really bad, is it that like for some reason he's just like, okay, cool, I'm gonna write a special protocol for if shit gets so bad that like only me and like 12 specifically built fucking robot things can survive. So all planes come down and pick up all the Dark Angels and fly them away.
Back to the grandstands, boys.
Yeah, except Lionel. And then this giant just like chunk of a ship just like breaks away, boom, 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 like a giant like just VCR style
just like
chunk.
A giant like Metalocalypse drop pod
breaks
stage.
away, slams into the ground, and then just like a whole bunch of the like 12 of these abominable intelligence things come out, and they just go like, kill everything.
Exterminate.
And just fucking kill everything, like just use insane radiological weapons, fucking in they have a cyberthergic attack, they fucking just attack on every fucking possible level, while them and just like Lionel are just like, yeah, let's fucking kick shit. Let's kick shit.
Let's go.
Yeah, they're fucking rad. Like they've got to be one of the best things just like in the fluff. I'm trying to find what do you reckon that's in? That's an Age of Darkness exemplary battles? No.
I don't even... I know it does have rules somewhere, but God, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just enjoyed the fluff that, yeah, they're so OP that, yeah, Lionel's got them, but he's like, yeah, we don't talk about this. Like,
yeah,
it's don't ask questions, don't get answers you don't want.
Yeah,
which, you know, in itself is very Dark Angels.
Oh no, here we go. Yeah, I found it. Hologuin. Yeah, Exindio. It has Cybernetica Exterminator. Oh, no, wait, that's a special rule, sorry. Oh, it has, what has it got? It's got...
Is it an
Cyberthurgy,
automata
sure.
though? Like, what's its unit type?
Oh, true, okay. Okay, its unit type
Here we
is
go.
Shackled Artificer. Wow. So it doesn't have Cybernetica and is not an automata. That's what we were looking up. Holy shit, that took a
because we
long
thought
time
it had
to
a
come-
power, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, but in that case, I would say probably he would be pinned. He would do nothing, but the unit itself would not be pinned and would probably just stand around waiting for him, but would carry on shooting.
Yeah.
Deep mysteries.
Oh yeah, it has the Animatus Exindor Cyberthurgic weapon from the Artificia Machina Cyberthurgic Arcana found on page 94 of Liber Mechanicum. Oh, but
wait,
I mean,
Liber
not
Mechanicum.
select
Which one? Sorry.
the Exindio Battle Automata has the Animatus Exindor Cyberthurgic weapon.
Oh yeah. That's the one in Artificia Machina. Yeah, that's the
okay.
D6 Haywire hits. Data Jin.
Yeah, shit. Okay, because that's what Cyberthurgic Exterminator is. It just gets that Cyberthurgic as well.
That's a good one.
Okay, cool.
It's a short range, but that's a good one.
Okay, so yeah. So for anyone playing at home, if you're a Dark Angels player and you want the rules for this Exindio Battle Automata, you need to
Page
come to this book that
94,
we're talking about now.
Mechanicum
Yeah.
book.
Mechanicum book, page 94. Remember it, page 94. Exindio, page 20. What was it? 94. 94. I think
Yeah,
I
because
fucking
it
I've
is called
confused people.
Animatus in Exindor. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what does that do? It's just like D6.
So it's range 12, strength 1, AP 1, but that's kind of redundant because it's assault D6,
yeah.
Haywire, and then Data Jin Cyberthurgic Focus. So basically just it's D6 Haywire shots.
At AP1.
Well, but the AP 1 doesn't matter because it's Haywire, right? Because it's
No,
Data
no,
Jin, so it can only affect vehicles
yeah,
and dreadnoughts and shit.
Yeah. But against a vehicle, 6 is a penetrating hit instead of just a glancing hit. So 6 is a pen at AP1.
Oh, so the
So that's
AP1
actually
comes
fucking-
into play.
Yeah, that's
okay.
actually really savage.
I was just thinking about dreadnoughts. Like you just roll and it's like on a 6, no saves
dude,
of
fucking
any kind.
nothing. No, there's basically fuck all Haywire that ever has any kind of AP.
No, yeah, that's
that is
true.
fucking insane. Like AP1 Haywire. Yeah, because a 6 is a pen.
And yeah,
But
then you've got the chance to detonate. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
That's the problem with Graviton. It's got no penetration. But this is just like firing data into
straight
it.
to the heart.
I hacked your ankles. Now you can't do shit.
All right. Well, let's get into these this Cyberthurgy then. So, as we say, primary right to number 1 is the Artificia Machina, and that gives you 2 powers. You've got the Animatus Integro, which is quite a good one. Where did it go? So basically, it lets you do a Cyberthurgy check to cast Battlesmith with a 12-inch range, and also double the effects of whatever you're doing with your Battlesmith.
Yeah, that's so fucking good, man.
Well, and that's it. That's pretty good because it doubles the effects, right? But also it gets around that issue of I need to be in base-to-base contact, but it's a different unit, or it's an enemy, or it's a whatever.
So let's just review, because like Battlesmith is like super underrated rule. Like I always try to just cram it into a game if I can.
Usually because it's so rare, right? But then
Yeah.
Mechanicum actually have it in a handful of
Yeah,
places.
Mechanicum have them. Also, there is a bunch in like being able to reheal a dreadnought wound, for example.
I
and
mean
shit.
anyone
Well,
can take a Tech Marine.
sorry,
Yeah.
Pass me the rulebook again, and I'll read out the Battlesmith rule, because it's like, it's pretty good. Fuck, I looked it up before, just to make sure that I was right about something before I blasted off about it.
It always pays to be right.
For once, maybe 1 in 10 times I'll do that.
But yes, while Tim's looking that up, basically, you get that. You can do a ranged Battlesmith for double the effect, or same as the Dark Angels Maniac. You get this weapon in the shooting phase, which is range 12, strength 1, AP 1, with assault D6, Haywire, Cyberthurgic Focus, and a Data Jin. And Data Jin just means it only works on vehicles, dreadnoughts, automata, etc., etc. And basically you just take a psychic check before using that weapon, and then go nuts.
Alright, it's before the blast. God, that was really hard to find. Okay, so Battlesmith is if you're in base contact with or embarked upon one or more damaged vehicles, dreadnoughts, or automata. So imagine you're embarked upon a dreadnought. That's cool. But anyway, during the shooting phase, they can attempt to repair one of them instead of firing a weapon. Roll a d6. If it was equal to or more than your value, obviously, yeah, everyone knows how to roll a fucking Battlesmith. So you can restore a lost hull point, restore a lost wound, repair a weapon destroyed result, which is fucking sweet.
It's nice.
Things like vehicles are the only thing that weapon destroy anymore. You can't weapon destroy dreadnoughts anymore. It's interesting. Or repair an immobilized result. So that is a fucking super handy thing, and being able to do that at 12 inches is fucking nuts. Like,
and being able to double. And actually, I should be more specific too. So this Cyberthergic Right, basically you can just straight up do Battlesmith with a 12-inch range.
Yeah.
And then if you pass your Battlesmith roll, you can choose to do a Cyberthergy check, and then you double it.
Oh, and then you can do... What do you mean by double? Like, you do it twice?
Well, yeah, like it
tap
doubles
it?
the effect. Like, you do your Battlesmith first, and then if you want to double it, then you take this leadership check.
But does that mean I could do...
You could just do it for free.
Could I
if you didn't
repair
want to
a
risk
weapon
anything.
destroy result and then also repair an immobilized result?
Ooh.
Because they're two separate acts is what I'm trying to say.
No, I think you'd have to do the same one twice. Like, you could just bring back 2 weapons, or you could
two hull
bring
points.
back 2 hull points or something.
Okay.
But it does just say it just doubles the effect.
Oh, okay. So if you had 2 damaged weapons, you could bring them both.
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. But you could only still do 1 immobilized result, so you
I
might as well.
believe so.
So you don't. But then you just don't need to fucking
Then you
bother.
just don't take a test to double it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking good. And then. And
for like your little boys that don't have like the leadership 10 or whatever, that makes it really safe. They can just do Battlesmiths from 12 inches away.
Yeah. And now let's just quickly review now, in light of that, all of the Techno Arcanas that allowed you to do different
Extra
shit.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And so which ones were they? There were... I know the Auto Reductor.
Well, what do we got? Our Commander, I got to do 2 different types of ones. What do we got? Oh, yeah, the Lacera Armada. Did that let everyone do the movement thing with Battlesmith? Let's double check.
If it is, that's fucking crazy. I think it's just him, right? Surely.
No, it's just a model with the Battlesmith special rule in this detachment can do the movement thing, or do the restore a wound to anyone thing.
Oh. Yeah. Holy shit. So imagine that. You can do that at range. Just restore wounds at 12 inches with this Cyberthergy.
Actually, I haven't thought about this, but... So, if you are a Laceramata Tagmata, you can do a Battlesmith roll on a unit to make them move double their initiative characteristic, right?
Yeah, that's fucking...
And not count as running or whatever.
Yeah.
But then if you are
and that's
using...
all Battlesmiths in the detachment? I didn't realize that until, like, we were talking about it before.
Yeah, well, hold on. But if you're using the Artificial Machina, you can do that for free from 12 inches away, or you can do a Psychic check, or a Cyberthergy check, to then double it. So do they then move twice their initiative twice?
I guess so. Remember, everything is pretty low initiative.
Yeah.
Like,
But
you can move thralls 4 inches total, isn't it? Like, they're initiative 1, right?
Well, actually, that does make some sense, though, because I was always confused why... I was like, oh, yeah, sweet, my Archmagos can, like, do a Battlesmith roll to push my unit forward, or you can just do a Cyberthergy check and just push them forward better.
Yeah.
But then I guess also the Archmagos himself is using the Laceramata space magic.
He doesn't get to do the
whereas
push
someone
at range.
else could do the double push.
So you still need... Yeah, it's weird that they don't get the original one as well. They just, like, give up being able to do their basic function to do, like, a different thing.
Well, this is the thing, like, especially with Laceramata, like, it reminds me of, like, old school, like, Tomb Kings and stuff. Because everyone looked at them and like, oh, they're just slow skeletons, they're undead, so they cannot march. But then when you actually played them, like, a good player was, like, casting out a bunch of spells that, like, just made them do extra movement, and suddenly they were actually, like...
Yeah,
they were targeted, but they're actually like a fast army, and you're like, oh shit, they're everywhere. Oh my god.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of undead I have no time for. That's why I just take Lure Light and just blast people. But yeah, no, yeah, that fuck, man, that actually does like change a lot.
Well, and that's what I've been saying too. Is like nothing's that good until it combos with something else, and then you're like, oh, actually, fuck, that's That's wild.
Can the basic guys do Cyberthurgy though? Like, who
this
has
is it.
Cyberthurgy? Who has
This
Cyberthurgy?
Artificia Machina and Artificia Cybernetica.
Yeah.
Virtually anyone that can do Cyberthurgy can do those two options. They are like the baseline.
Yeah, but who can
laws.
do Cyberthurgy? Is it only HQs or can the
No. So you've got Archmagoses. You've got Magoses. You've got
Magus Dominus?
Yeah, Magos Dominus. Sorry.
The Archaeota
you've got-
Magitarium, can they do it?
I'm not sure about them, but
Okay.
all of your Tech Priest units, like from elites, can do it.
Yeah. Tech Priest.
That
from
might be
elites,
it. But
yeah.
like, if you want to, you can fit a lot of bloody Tech Priests in an army. Oh no, I'm up into the Titans section. What am I doing?
Yeah, they're an elite's choice, right?
that might
and
be
the
it, but
Macrotech
yeah.
makes them troops as well. So
Well, yeah, if you took Macrotech, you can make them all troops, and then you just have them everywhere.
But then they wouldn't be Lacrimata though.
That's true. Yeah,
Could
they
you
wouldn't
take?
be
Because
Lacrimata.
can you only? So you can
But
only have
they
one
could- they
Techno
could
Arcana
do-
in the whole army, unless you take an allied slot, right?
Yeah. But you could also, you could just do the regular one where you just restore a wound to an automata, and you should be doing that from 12 inches away, and then doubling it up
Yeah.
in a lot of instances.
Well, yeah. Just max regenning automata is number one with your cyber because. Oh, but then your other boys will have the Cybernetica thing, which might be better.
Well, and that's the beauty though, is like not everyone has to take the same
Yeah, you
discipline of
don't have to
Cyberthurgy.
you don't
Like
have to go
each dude.
Cybernetica. Well, it just
can specialize
adds
in
to
a
their
different
list of
thing.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
It adds.
yeah, exactly.
right.
You just have to choose, what you want to, sort of buff the battlesmith with. But then you can always get tech priests.
That makes so
doing
many fucking
Battlesmith from wherever.
combos. Yeah, that makes so many more combos.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I think tech priests are a sleeper unit. Like, a lot of people get caught up, and I mean,
Well, they
fair
have
so,
if they have
with-
Cyberthurgy now, yeah, that is fucking a
Yeah.
game changer.
Well, like one dude in the unit has Cyberthurgy.
yeah,
to
one
be fair.
guy. Is it just if you give them the? Let's talk about the. Is it only if you give them the Magos upgrade?
Yeah, so you upgrade one tech priest to be a Magos Auxilia,
Yeah.
and then he has Cyberthurgist.
Can you add? Can you still have like 2 or more tech priests?
Yeah, you can have him and 2 like tech priest boyfriends,
Oh,
and then
fuck,
up
so
to
it's
10
3.
servo automata bodyguarding them.
Yeah, shit. Okay, cool. That's cool. It used to only be 2, and then remember Solar Ox could take up to 3 just for some
really?
reason. And you were like, why do they get more tech
That's not
priests? And-
fair.
Yeah. But yeah, if you can take 2 tech priests plus a Magos, and what's a Magos' shit? Has he got 3+ armor?
Yes, he has 3+ armor, and
But they downgraded tech priests to just 4+, right? So they're
yes.
shit.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
fucking trash now.
But all your
that
servo
sucks.
automata bodyguards they're only 5+ armor, but they're all toughness 5. So like when someone's shooting
Yeah.
that squad, it's like a T5 squad. Put them in some cover or whatever.
Yeah.
They're pretty hard to move. Plus they're surrounded by guardian automata, so they all count as fearless.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan of basic tech priest going back to having 4+ armor. They should have at least have artificer version of Carapace, which makes it 3+. Like, for fuck's sake. Just give him 3+, bro.
Well, the important guy does.
Yeah. Guess.
But all right, let's not get too sidetracked with
Okay,
elites.
but back to
Let's finish up
Cyberthurgy.
Cyberthurgy.
Cyberthurgy, given that though, 3 HQs, all with Cyberthurgy, and then up to 5...
Go up to 4 elite slots.
Oh, sorry, 4 elite slots,
Yeah.
But... Oh no, 6, I guess, if you took the Magos guy and took him as troops. Oh no, they make it... What did that make it? It'd make it 10.
Yeah,
could
if
take
you
10.
took that, you just have them for days. But then you kind of...
But you've already got 3, so you might as well
Exactly,
go
if you're
another
just
3.
maximizing the whole army of tech priests, everyone's a guy to buff someone, and you don't have
Yeah.
someone to be buffed.
And no
you
matter
gotta
how many wounds you can
ride that
put back on a
balance.
unit, they're still...
You never
the
bring a
enemy
model
will
back.
just... Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
focus until they just kill whole models, yeah.
But you know what takes a while to lose a model?
What?
A fucking Thanatar with toughness 8 and like 8 wounds or whatever it has.
A unit of Thanatar? Can you still take a unit of Thanatar?
Only the ones with the bombards.
Oh yeah, I've got 3.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a hard unit to move. Because especially if you had a unit that big, you could have like multiple dudes
Just
cyberthurging them,
wounds.
just buffing them, or giving them. Well, actually, no. What you would want to do is you'd want to have one guy doing Artificia Cybernetica
Yeah.
to make them probably be able to do reactions,
Yeah.
which is quite nice.
Yeah.
And then B, ignore the first wound from every shooting attack that someone manages to do.
Yeah.
So every unit that shoots at them, you just toss away the first wound.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
good.
then when they actually get through with something, then you just put wounds back on them until you break their spirits and they stop trying to shoot at you. Yeah. I'm seeing the gears turning, Tim. You're coming back to the Mechanicum. I can see it happening.
Okay, so Lacrimata, what I'm thinking now is, what else has fucking just tons of wounds? Myrmidons.
Mm-hmm.
In my Lacrimata army, I have like those tracked unit things that are like they're like king.
Oh yeah, I've got them as destructors. Yeah.
You got the same.
Yeah, like the 40k Mechanicum.
But I got thrall heads on mine. See,
nice.
because they're Lacrimata. So imagine that has 4 wounds now. If I have
three.
No, it's a Myrmidon. It's a
okay,
yeah, Mournival. So it's
but
got 4.
still.
But if I'm playing just out on the street, it's got 4 wounds, right? So yeah, obviously inside my house, it's got 3 wounds because it's Mournival here. But out on the street, as soon as we go outside of my
after street games,
yeah, on the street, it's got 4 wounds. If I've taken the Lacrimata King,
yes,
then I can then have the Tech Auxilia
Tech Priest
unit
backing that up,
putting like 2 wounds on. Two wounds back
Yeah.
on. Oh shit! So, and that's like extremely sort of like hard to kill.
Yeah, especially if they're far back or whatever, just blasting away.
Fuck, that's fucking good. I'm just trying to find a reason that'll actually make me want to put my thralls down.
Oh,
like,
right. We'll get to that.
My thralls, these guys, my Vorax and my Vulturax are all thrall color. Like they're all one color.
Oh, right. Yeah,
that's
they're
black.
unified.
Yeah, that's Black Quantum. But the thralls are so bad it makes me just not want to play it, even though it's my sickest army.
Well, and that's it. Like, you have a
it.
whole army of thralls.
I have 100 thralls, yeah.
That's too many thralls. I'm an advocate for a unit of thralls. A unit of thralls is pretty good. Kind of just for the psychological factor. But we're jumping ahead again.
Me up.
Well, let's back to the Robo
wait,
Magic.
wait, one more question. One more question.
Okay.
So previously, my Lacrimata Tech Priest Auxilia would give a thrall a bonus within a radius. Do they still do that?
They give them more feel no pain. Yes.
Oh, so go to feel no pain 5
4+.
Oh, 4+?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think they only have 6+, don't they?
I'm confident they go to 4+.
Oh shit! Okay.
It's pretty good.
I only used those guys for 2 or 3 turns games because they were it's just too hard to coordinate them all because they'll just run off and charge and get charged or something.
Oh yeah, no, that a whole swarm of them's a bit much.
But yeah, you're definitely like, and I'm way more engaged now. Now I'm thinking about my thrall shit.
Yeah,
fuck.
it's all about them combos.
Oh fuck. Okay. All right. Okay.
The machine works when all the gears are there, Tim. All right, so I think we've covered Artificia Machina. That's basically doing your ranged cyberthurgy. It's got the D6 haywire shots as a weapon. Then the other sort of stock cyberthurgy lore is Artificia Cybernetica. And this is the one you want if you've got lots of Castellax, Domitars, Thanatars, any kind of automata. This is the one that they love. So instead of making a shooting attack, a cyberthurgist can pick a unit within 12 with at least 1 automata in it, and then they can choose one of the following effects. When that unit makes a charge, you roll an additional dice and discard the lowest. So just angrier, better at charging, whatever. Option B, the unit ignores the first wound inflicted upon it from each shooting attack that targets it until the beginning of the controlling player's next turn.
Very nice.
And that's not just the first wound of the shooting phase, that's of each attack. So that's potentially pretty punishing. Or you can just add 1 ballistic skill to the squad, which is never bad for all the guns that Mechanicum have. And then lucky last is basically automata. Typically 2 dumb and slow to do reactions. You can tell them to pay attention, do reactions till next turn. And a little bit like before, if you want to get greedy, you can take a cyberthurgy check. And if you pass it, you get 2
effects.
The risk, of course, is if you fail the cyberthurgy check, you get none and you burn your brain out.
So what that's going to come down to is your general sitting in a unit. You're going to roll a leadership 10 check, and you're going to pass it most of the time. Some of the time, you're going to roll a double 1 or a double 6 and take a wound but you're going to save it on 3+. But then some of the time you'll just roll like you'll fail. You roll an 11, and then it's like, oh, it just doesn't happen.
And that's the thing. Even if it is just like a Magus Dominus, they've still got 2 wounds. Like,
does the first effect happen even if you fail the check? Or
no,
the check cancels both.
You can just do one thing.
Yep. Or
safely,
get greedy and risk.
or you can gamble it and you can go for more. But if you fail that check, it all goes tits up.
Yeah, dude. Like I can okay, so Cyberthurgy works essentially the same as it did in First Ed, and I've played 100 games at least doing Cyberthurgy all the time, and like you'll be fine.
Yeah,
like every now and then some bullshit, like even one wound, who gives a flying fuck?
And that's it. I feel like I've done. I'm 9 times out of 10 gambling for double effect.
Yeah,
like I can think of. I
and
can't think of a game where more than once in the game it's gone wrong. Really.
Yeah, dude, it's dog shit now anyway, like compared to what it used to be, which is, oh, you rolled double 6, roll another d6. Oh, you rolled a 4+. Oh, that unit now becomes a third party in the game and just fights the nearest shit, which is obviously your shit because you're casting it on your whatever Darkfire shit in the middle of your army.
Whoops.
That's what it used to be. So just fucking do it every time, motherfucker.
Now just take a wound, whatever. Yeah.
Now
and automatically be pinned, which hurts.
So the one where you can roll the extra dice and then blah blah blah. That on Domitars is fucking amazing. Just like fuck you, just do a massive charge in. Because I think Domitars are movement 8 now. I did run my Cybernetica army. Like I'm thinking about Thanatars and thinking about the double thing. I just suddenly realized I did run my whole Cybernetica army in a game, and I fucking totally forgot about it.
I was gonna say, but be honest, Tim, were you that guy you mentioned earlier? It was like, the Cyberthurgy, but I can't read all that shit.
Yeah, fucking Cyberthurgy is horseshit. No, I was doing this, but so what I was doing is the one where you, what was it? You just discard the first wound every phase.
That's a good one.
Is it every phase?
No, every shooting attack until your next turn.
Every shooting attack. Okay. Yeah, every shooting attack, dude, that's fucking insane.
So much, right?
Yeah. So you're saving wounds. You're also able to patch up wounds. That's fucking amazing. And then I was doing the last one. What was the last one again? Oh, yeah, being able to do reactions.
Do reactions, yeah.
So reactions, and both of those together are just fucking amazing. So
it's good.
In your core unit where you have your general who is leadership 10 with that unit, boom, done. Like that's fucking, you just want to sit there and be impossible to kill.
Like the big wig Cyberthurgist Archmagos, like he's just running those boys. Like he's not giving them orders and sent them out and hopefully they get it right. Like he's no got way his finger on the pulse.
You don't just load like 5 Castellax up with Darkfire Cannon and then just go, okay, just go do your own shit. He's there like spraying them down with coolant and shit and just being like, holy fuck, I hope this goes well.
You're not like, execute the mandate, you got it, boys. It's like, no, you guys are idiots, just do what I tell you to do.
Exactly. So if you are a Cybernetic army, that is my suggestion as your general. Because that's what I would always do back in the day. But I was using the machine gun, what's it called, the Molar Ball Cannon, which is now, spoiler alert, terrible. It's not AP3 anymore. And I would just sit there as like a mobile base and just like wail on people and then repair them and do that sort of thing. And that's like a good sort of midfield thing while you're pushing your actual combat shit, just like feeding them into people's shit as it gets near.
Exactly.
So that's perfect for like a Cybernetica sort of Archmagos. Just dropping that kind of business.
Well, yes, that is the meat and potatoes of... but
that's all just one power, right? Like
that's just one power, because that's it. You've got that, and then also... you get a nice little weapon.
Okay, so what's the... and then...
so it's called Mordeo.
And you can do both of these? Or is this shooting first, the Cybernetica one we just talked about?
Well, yeah, this Cybernetica one is instead of making a shooting attack, you do this. Cool. So, yeah, this one you kind of have to choose between the gun and the power.
Okay, so you're never doing the gun?
Most of the time you're doing the power, yeah.
You might do the gun if you're on your own at the end of the game and being chased by a dreadnought on 2 wounds.
Exactly, yeah.
So
and I mean, the gun's okay. So it's only 12-inch range, but it is strength 10, AP 1. It's only one shot, and it's darted in, so it's only going to work on robots, vehicles, stuff. But it is instant death. So if you've got just a dreadnought running at you, just a cheeky instant death, strength 10 AP 1 shot.
It's just down to you and a single Telemon dreadnought at the end of the game, and how far away is it? 12. Oh fuck!
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty close.
But then a Telemon's might be close as well. You probably cross the table. You're in within 12. Move within 12. Dump that on him. Hope that kills him. If it doesn't, charge him in. Die.
And yeah, probably. It does have cyberthurgic focus. I believe, citation needed, But basically, I believe you can do your cyberthurgy check and use that as a weapon in conjunction with your other weapons. Like a lot of your magos and stuff have like firing protocols too, or whatever, or they're monstrous, so they fire all of their weapons.
Yes.
So you, again, citation needed. I haven't double checked this, but you could fire 2 melter guns and a photon thruster, and that.
Oh, are you saying there's a rule called cyberthurgic focus or something?
Yeah, that basically just means you need to take a cyberthurgy check to cast it. But I just have to double check that does mean you can use it and other weapons at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be powerful.
It'll be on page 93 there somewhere, I'd say. But yeah, the rest of the powers state instead of making a shooting attack, do this power. So, and the weapon does not state that. So I think if you have spare guns to fire, you could fire that as well. But again, it has to be a vehicle or a dreadnought or an automata. So.
Oh yeah, here we go. A model that has the cyberthurgist unit type may make a shooting attack using any ranged cyberthurgic weapon available to it, or more than one, or in combination with ranged non-cyberthurgic weapons if that model has the rule that allows more than one attack. Weapon to be used during a shooting attack.
Well, that's a good point actually, because if you were in fact in Archimandrite, the big wig of the Forge World, and you get 2 cyberthurgic rights, you could in the one phase fire the assault D6 haywire and the strength 10 instant death at one poor little dreadnought and show him that he's not as big and scary as he thinks he is.
Yeah.
Could be alright.
Holy shit. So is it a close combat cyberthurgic weapon?
There is some.
Okay, so it says that you can also use a cyberthurgic weapon with a melee type. Does count for deciding if a model has more than one weapon.
Yeah,
but obeys all the usual restrictions.
Yeah, the Laceramata one and the Reductor one that we'll get to in a moment, they're melee weapons, yeah. But alright, so yes, that's your default ones. Artificia Machina, Artificia Cybernetica. They can be taken by virtually anyone that can do cyberthurgy. Then we get into the more esoteric ones. So we've got the Ephemera Incursus. This is the one favored by the tech assassins. This is your scrap code type of shenanigans.
Okay.
I believe any Magos Dominus can also take this one as well as the first two. And so what I've used this one for most is actually the weapon. So we'll look at that first. It's got a range of 24, which is better than most things. Only strength 3, which is a bit meh. But it is assault 6 with blind and Vox silence, which is why I like it, because it's a blind check, and also if you get hit by that, Vox silence basically drops your leadership by 2.
Yeah.
But the caveat is it won't stack with other things. So like if there was also fear, it wouldn't stack with Vox silence. Like it's its own sort of counter. Right. But again, it is Datagen, so you might look at that and go, oh well, no, that's no good, mate. It only works on dreadnoughts and vehicles and stuff. Datagen will only damage a vehicle or anything, but basically it just says unless they're a dreadnought or a vehicle, it just automatically fails to wound, right? A blind weapon causes a blind check so long as it hits you. And you've got 6 shots to hit. And
then blind goes off.
Yeah, so then blind and the Vox silent go off. So it won't do any damage, but you just force a blind check and nerf their leadership by 2, which is pretty good. Like,
why make it strength 3 then? Why not just make it strength X?
Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows?
Anyways, yeah. Well, I guess against like actual automata, it does do slight damage. Like you might
I suppose.
You might hit a unit of like
you get 6s to wound
like
against
Tex Priest boyfriends or something.
Or whatever. But yeah, so I quite like that just for messing with people.
Yeah,
because in my force, I'm very much about forcing blind checks, nerfing leadership, bringing them down to my level, my stat line.
Yeah, as many blinds as possible.
Yeah.
Negative leadership's pretty good for some effects.
So that's good for fucking with people, but if you really want to fuck with someone, just use their toys against them. Ephemera Perfidae is the I won't say the buff power of this law, but essentially it's got a 12-inch range, and when you take a cyberthurgy check, you just pick someone else's vehicle or automata unit, and you just turn around and shoot with them.
Whoa, just any weapon.
You just jack their unit.
Well, their whole unit.
Their whole unit, one unit. So, for example, I could hijack your unit of 5 Castellax full of Darkfires and just turn them around and shoot them at your boys.
Holy fuck! Does that require a test?
It does require a test,
Okay.
and it's only a 12-inch range, so like you do have to get up in there. But
can you make the unit shoot into its own self?
I don't think you can shoot it into its own self.
But
But yeah,
cool.
that's
especially
my
if you're
dream.
getting close enough to just charge it and then just like kill yourselves.
Yeah,
and then
I'm just waiting for the day when there's like a squadron of 2 Kratos, like with the melter cannons, and I can just be like, oh, this will be fun. I'd like to shoot them in that direction.
So you can't pivot the vehicle.
No, you can't move it. Yeah,
but you can determine the turret. And
exactly.
everything.
Turret has 360 range.
turret's 360.
Sponsons have like 180 range, and then defensive weapons shoot at different targets if they can't see the first thing anyway.
Yeah.
So like all your sponsons are zinging off in every direction. And honestly, just the psychological value of someone being like, "Oh, you're getting awful close there. You're going to be in trouble. I'm in rapid fire range," and you're like, "Well, just hold on to your seat there, buddy." Like,
yeah. Dude, imagine just seizing a whole squadron of like vanquishers and just turning their turning their guns.
Yeah. Like, it's one of those things where it is a niche situation. Like It's not
their ballistic skill or your ballistic skill?
Ooh, actually, that's a good question.
Imagine if it was your ballistic skill of 5, presumably, if you're an Archmage.
Okay, let's have a look.
That'd be
instead of
insane.
making a shooting attack, they can select a single enemy model with single enemy model within 12 that is entirely composed of vehicles or automata. The cyberthurgic controlling player may then attack as if they control the chosen user. Blah 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 blah. This target may unit any unit that is considered an enemy by the cyberthurgist controlling player, and is made as snapshots. Hold on. The cyberthurgist may choose to make a cyberthurgy check before making the shooting attack. If successful, the attack is made using the cyberthurgist ballistic skill, and is not made as snapshots. If he's failed, he obviously takes cyberthurgic feedback and no shooting attack is made.
So who can take this, sorry? Is this what the Magisteriums can
Magos
take?
Dominus can take this, and yeah, I think the the Magisterium are... Well, actually, they're not cyberthurgist, but yeah, like the tech assassin focused guys, this is their jam type of thing.
Yeah, right. Whoa, yeah, that's... Like an Magos Dominus being able to do that is very interesting. Especially if you're outflanking with Vorax, for example.
Or yeah, if you just happen to be like with something in like a Triara, so you just like plow into the enemy lines and disembark, and then suddenly you're just like, "You there, help me out."
Does vehicle imply knight or super heavy?
Ooh, probably not.
Because if you could just get a knight to just fire its fucking minigun into something, get the Atropos to fire.
What would be interesting actually would a super heavy vehicle, because would that be vehicle subtype super heavy?
Yeah, I guess so.
You might get away with super heavy vehicle, but I don't think you get away with a knight. That's its own
That's
unit
a super
type.
heavy Walker, isn't it?
Exactly, but Walker is not on our list. It's got to be automata or vehicle.
Yeah, but Walker is a vehicle, isn't it? Oh,
No, it's a Walker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta be careful, I guess. You gotta find these combos, but you gotta make sure you
All these
don't
new classifications.
go too far into the greys and shoot yourself in the foot. But yeah, if you don't like your army,
Oh no, it
just
says
use the other guys.
Knights and Titans, and the very first paragraph says, unlike other vehicles, Knights and Titans have have weapon skill, strength, initiative, and attacks.
That's an interesting one. You have to
Unlike
take
other
that to the
vehicles,
council.
so they're all vehicles. Yeah, anything they're in the vehicle section of the book.
I guess.
That's what vehicle means, right?
I mean, and there is a guy in there driving it, so I mean,
Yeah. So fucking Titan just run up to a Warhound and just be like, "Hey, you're gonna need to turn your fucking gun on this guy." Just fire a VMB into a nearby armature or whatever.
yeah, no, they wouldn't be impressed with that. I mean, they'd be impressed, but they'd be horrified.
Yeah, interesting. So that's pretty strong.
But yeah, I kind of like that. Yeah, you've got the nice, reliable, just blind and vox silence to just sling out indiscriminately.
Yeah, that's very good.
And then if you can orchestrate it, that's very fun. But alright, that leads us into my favorite, the Ephemera Laceramata. So like I was saying before, they have the whole battlesmith thing where you move the unit forward a bit. Instead of that, you can have a cyberthergic power. Instead of making a shooting attack, you pick a unit within 12, but they all have to be infantry. So this one is no good on your automata. It won't work for your Castellax, your Domitars, or anything like that. This is for your Myrmidons, or your Thralls, or your Thalax, or something like that. And basically, that one is you can move twice your unmodified initiative of the highest initiative in the squad. So what I like to leverage there is I have Thralls, which have terrible initiative, but if there's a Magos in there, he's initiative 3. So suddenly you double that to 6 rather than doubling to 4.
Oh, wait, so that goes off the highest initiative?
That goes off the highest initiative,
Crap.
So it's quite good.
So, and this is the one that my Lacrimata support boys have. Oh, my God.
Well, yeah, the Arch Magos Laceramata would have this one, yeah.
But what about the support Magos?
No.
Oh, he doesn't.
No, they just get the Battlesmith one.
Oh,
which
okay.
Is just
No. They get
the
don't they get the cyber?
No, only he gets this.
Oh, right.
Only
Okay.
he gets this. But that's for free. You get the double movement for free.
Yeah.
If you want to bump it up, you take a cyberthergy check, and they not only move double the highest initiative, they also gain Furious Charge and Hammer of Wrath.
Wow.
Which either putting Hammer of Wrath and Furious Charge on like a unit of 30 Thralls kind of amplifies them to being a bit more dangerous. They're like getting twice as many attacks and they're angrier.
Yeah.
Or
a few auto hits.
If you've just got like I have an Archmagos in like a unit of 6 Myrmidons. Myrmidons are strength 5 with AP2 power axes. If you then charge in with Furious Charge, they bump to strength 6, and your Archmagus slings some rad grenades into the mix. The enemy drops to strength 3, and suddenly all those AP2 attacks from the Myrmidons are instant death.
Yeah.
And the Terminators kind of start to sweat a little bit at that point.
Yeah. What Secular power axes are like +2 strength, so they're like strength 6 AP2, aren't they? I'm pretty sure they are, because they're only strength 4 base, but their axe is +2 strength.
Something like, or it might be +1.
I'm pretty sure they're just like strength 6 AP2 now.
Let me just double check that for you. Combat weapons. What are we looking for?
So you just need a rad
weapons?
effect essentially to instant kill Termi.
Here we go. Myrmidon axe. You're right. They are +2 strength AP2. Melee Sunder 2-handed unwieldy. Yeah.
Oh, I got Sunder too.
So yeah, you're right.
Strength
That's
6
what it is.
Sunder.
So I guess the Myrmidons are already strength 6 with the rad grenades, but then the Archmagos, if you're just doing basic boy attacks, goes from strength 5 to strength 6, and then everyone's doing instant death.
Yeah. Your Lacrimata guy's gonna have a rad furnace as well, right?
Yeah. Well, the rad furnace won't affect instant death though.
No, it won't. But
you're getting
it's +1 to wound. Yeah.
But if you're 6 against 3, it's.
But if you
2s
run up
anyway.
against Dreadnought, you're dropping it down from
Yes.
tough 7 to 6, and then you're winning on 4s, and then you're getting +1 to wound, so you're winning on 3s.
Yeah.
With those Myrmidon axes, just straight up, and that's before you do any kind of Lacrimata.
Well, speaking of fighting a Dreadnought, we've got Furious Charge and Hammer of Wrath is quite nice. The other half of the Laceramata right is the Ephemera Ex Crucius.
So you could have strength 7 on the charge with that axe then in that case.
Yeah.
And so you'd be winning a Dreadnought on 2s.
Yeah, with the rad grenades and the rad furnace.
With the rad grenades and furnace, yeah. Oh shit.
But if that wasn't enough, if say you were fighting a Thanatar or a
Telemon.
or a fucking Telemon or a Primarch or something,
Yeah.
or a giant demon, instead of using your regular weapon, you can use a cyberthergic weapon, which is not a Data Djinn, which is a nice plus. So basically, the Laceramata love their flesh smithing. They just turn, their hands into mega weapons with no strength, but AP3. They have Fleshbane, so you're just wounding on a 2+.
Yeah.
It has Radphage, and it also has Concussive 3.
Ugh.
So like if you are fighting some big crazy monster,
Yeah.
You just try and land a hit on him. Fleshbane is 2+ to wound, and then assuming it is like a demon or something, it might have a 3+ save. You cut through that, then you hit it with Radphage, makes it better for everyone else next turn, as well as Concussive 3. Suddenly you're dropping
its weapon skill.
Yeah, it drops its weapon skill nowadays.
It has to. No, well, that's the thing. It has to fail a leadership check.
Yeah, and you have to do an unsaved wound and whatever.
And I think some stuff like fearless and shit just auto passes leadership checks.
Maybe.
So it doesn't.
That being said, demons are not fearless.
Oh, they're not. Yeah, well,
no,
there you go.
They just never run away, and they take wounds when they fail their leadership.
Yeah, but concussive is fucking apeshit.
Concussive 3 is pretty solid too. Yeah.
That reduces their weapon skill, which is
by
like
3.
Fucking nuts. Yeah.
Like, a lot of things -3 weapon skill are gonna have a real bad time.
That could be interesting. Yeah.
But also, you could just swing a chain fist at his face. It's probably a good option too.
Yeah. None of those fucking dirty tricks really work against a Primarch as well, because you can't rad furnace will. Rad grenades you can't, because you can't reduce a stat on a Primarch, so you can't. So rad grenades they're immune to.
But this isn't. The rad furnace is not.
Yeah, the rad furnace is just neg whatever it is.
It's just +1 to your wound result. Yeah,
which is fine. This other one, what was it?
Okay, well, it won't work on a Primarch.
Yeah, that won't work on a Primarch. But
big scary.
Everything else, like almost fucking
it's good to have in your pocket anyway.
Exactly,
Actually, I would like to hit you with Radphage and Concussive 3. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, I do want to just liquefy you. And it's AP3 base as well, right?
Yeah, so which
attack through it. Just
not everything big has a 2+ in armor save these days.
Yeah, Automata as well. You're just gonna fuck them up.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, that brings us to our final Robo Magic, the Artificia Reductor. So they have the Portafractus. And I think we talked about this one earlier. Basically, you pick a transport within 12 and just make everyone fall out and take a pinning check.
Yeah.
The specification, though, is you can't target flyers, super heavies, knights, or titans. I guess you can't just make people just jump out of a Storm Eagle in mid-flight and fucking fall to their deaths.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Yeah. So any transport that's not a super heavy. Okay, so that's lots of shit. That's a Spartan.
A lot of stuff, yeah. Spartan, Land Raider, Rhino.
And do they have to do an emergency disembark? Or is it just they have to disembark?
It's not stated as an emergency.
What is it?
Oh no, sorry, it is even stated as must make an emergency disembarkation. And once they take a pinning check.
I was going to say, what is a non-emergency disembark?
Because hold on, let's be
vehicles
specific.
Underpowered.
Instead of making your shooting attack, the target a building or a transport within 12. Yeah, then you take your cyber 30 check. If it's successful, the embarked unit immediately makes an emergency disembarkation.
Imagine how funny that is if they only got a fucking opening to the front of their vehicle. Isn't a Land Raider, at least you can kind of be like, oh shit, he's got a unit
has
there.
Side doors, yeah.
Yeah, if someone's got a unit, they'll be like, oh, I won't disembark at the front, I'll disembark at this side, because if somebody's got just a whole bunch of Myrmidons standing right next to the vehicle, at least on a Land Raider you can jump out the other side, or you've got at least some way of getting out. But some vehicles only have the front hatch or the back hatch. So if you're just on a Rhino, for example, you can just be standing.
Well, that's a good point.
Oh, no, Rhinos have side as well, don't they?
If you wanted to really be as cheesy as you possibly could, I think if you've surrounded a vehicle and people just can't disembark, they count as destroyed. So if you just swarmed a Rhino with fucking thralls and then just forced someone to get out and they couldn't,
because they can't disembark in the footprint because the vehicle's still alive. Yeah.
But don't do that. That's not cool.
It's totally railroad people.
That's messed up.
It'd take a bit of movement and running and stuff
it would be
able to envelope one. But if they're just backed right up to you,
that's it. If they're brazen about it.
Imagine these Marines are like, "See you later, thralls, you dum-dums," and then they just get in a Rhino. But then before they can drive off,
mob the vehicle,
they just mob it and just shake it back and forth. And then some guy runs up and goes, "Techno Arcana!" And then they're like, "Oh shit, we can't get out. Oh, what's gonna happen?" And then the vehicle. Oh no, I guess they just die
torn
somehow.
limb from limb by the zombies outside.
Yeah, the zombies just pull the doors open. I'm trying to think of any vehicle that doesn't have that only has like a back hatch. Like,
what about the
that
the
isn't a
sister's
super heavy.
ship? Does that only have like a front door?
The Sisters one. Oh, true. Yeah, that only has a front door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom. Oh, thank God for that. I knew there had to be something out there.
Knew they had a weakness. They've only got one door.
Triaris only have two side doors, and the Triaris is so long that it's hard to like lap that.
Yeah, true.
Land
true.
Raiders and stuff are pretty like, even Rhinos have side doors and shit. And then the Solar Ox, and Drakazan has like two sides, doesn't it?
I
Just
think
has side
so.
doors.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't even have a front.
Yeah, even the Gorgon has that mega door at the front and like two little baby doors at the back.
Yeah, there is the Praetor armored. No, the Crassus armored assault transport, but that is a super heavy. So yeah.
Oh yeah, so not an issue.
And that's
yeah.
only got a back door.
That's a good point. The Gorgons are super heavy too, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Gorgon's super heavy.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think we touched on it earlier. But if that's not enough, then just fire. Then just charge in, do a Cyber 30 check, and just punch it with Strength 10 AP1, Armor Bane, Exoshock 3+, Mega Punch.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's unwieldy and it's cumbersome, so it's Initiative 1 and you only get the one swing. But yeah, you're just
Strength
mega
10
punch it.
AP1 Armor Bane.
And Exoshock 3+, so there's a good chance you're doing a second penetrating hit.
Yeah.
But it is Datagin, so obviously it only works on a vehicle or whatever.
But, I mean, like, a vehicle that hasn't moved is auto hit, right?
Maybe. Either way, they count as weapon skill 1.
Yeah.
In best case.
Oh, yeah, there you go, 2+.
Yeah. So, yeah, just
Running,
punch it clean in half.
Strength 10 AP1 Armor Bane fucking hit. Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah,
just don't roll a 1 to hit.
If you can't do a whole point with that, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. And then 3+, you get another fucking chance at it.
Yeah. Yeah, after all that, 3+, you get a second one.
But then that is your weapon. So if you have multiple shooting shooting weapons and cyberthergic shooting weapons, you can fire all of them if you've got firing protocols. But a cyberthergic weapon is just like a weapon. So instead of using your power fist or your chain fist or your haywire staff or some shit, you can choose to just use this. In which case, you can only make one attack. Although,
because it's cumbersome, you'd only make one attack. Yeah.
I wonder if you would still get your 2 grabby claws on top.
Ooh.
I think you would, right? They're just 2 extra attacks that you have to make with a separate weapon.
Probably, and they have armor bane too, so might work. Yeah.
Yeah, and something like a like your.
Plus, I like the idea of him just like laser boring just in the side of a tank with like some crazy melter weapon, and then just like the robo claws are reaching over the top, just like peeling the hull upside, just like opening it up like a fucking mandarin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's sick.
But yeah, all right. So that is all the robo magic we've got. As you can see, there's a lot of combos.
Yeah, auto reductor stuff sounds a lot more interesting. If you can pull that off,
and that's exactly if you can pull it off.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. Sorry.
Does that that Strength 10 AP1 cyberthergic weapon? If I wanted to use that as a close combat weapon, would I have to take a leadership check first?
Yes.
Oh fuck. Okay. If I failed, I would just count as auto missing or something. Or?
If the check is passed, they attack as normal with the profile shown. If the check is failed, then they take cyberthergic feedback. And if it's not removed as a casualty, they may attack as normal, but not with this weapon. So basically, if you fail, you take the hit, and then you just punch with your chain fist.
Yeah. I like the AP1, but the Strength 10 like armor bane you can get off a chain fist, so it's like
Yeah. Plus, if you're Strength 10
and you're gonna get more than one
with
attack.
The chain fist, you're gonna get more than one attack.
Yeah.
But I guess if you don't want to pay for the chain fist, you just use this instead. I don't know.
And then just add that extra chance that you might fail your cyber 30 check, take a wound, or you might fail and roll to hit. You might fail to hit. You might as well just roll your... I don't know.
Or you just, instead of giving him a chain fist or whatever, you just kit him out with more guns. So you give him like double melter gun, double photon gauntlet, and he's all guns, but then in combat he's just like, alright, magic time.
Yeah. Well, hold on. This is available to people other than Archmagos?
No, I think this is basically just the Archmagos, this one.
Didn't it say that they get access to the entire cyberthergic arcana? Oh, no, they don't?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, because the
damn,
Secrets
yeah,
of
it's-
Annihilation are modeled with this special rule, which Archmagos has got being a reductor.
Yeah.
He gets this Cybertheurgic Arcana, but can't select any others.
Yeah,
It's
right.
the Battlesmith stuff that everyone gets.
Can you still have Reductor Auxilia?
Yes, so that's a different thing. Yes.
And can they take the Reductor
Yes.
Cybertheurgy? Oh, so maybe it's
Oh
for
no,
them.
sorry, no, they
Oh.
can't take the Cybertheurgy, but what they can do is take fucking Conversion Beamers and they gain Sunder and Wrecker.
And the Magos in a Reductor Auxilia does not get access to Reductor Cybertheurgy?
Wait, sorry, the Archmagos... Or the Archmagos
Oh,
or the
sorry,
Magos
Magos.
Dominus?
Mag. So if you upgrade an Auxilia to be a Magos, he would normally get Cybertheurgy. If he is a Reductor Magos, so he's in a Reductor...
Well, strictly speaking, the Magos Dominus, you don't upgrade to be...
Oh, no,
anything
sorry.
specific?
No, Magos in the Auxilia unit. You know how he gets
Oh,
Cybertheurgy?
sorry, yeah, the tech priest guy.
Yeah,
yes.
Tech Priest Auxilia Magos.
No, so
that guy.
Cybertheurgy-wise, he can just choose Artificia Machina or Artificia Cybernetica. So that's the ranged Battlesmith or the Cybernetica one.
Even if he is a Reductor one.
Yes.
Doesn't give him...
No.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, when we get to tech priest, the reductor option
So it's
makes the whole
basically-
squad. You can replace their servo arms with like conversion beamers or graviton imploders.
So essentially only one model in the army is doing that, Reductor Cybertheurgy.
Yes.
Just the Archmagos.
Yeah,
who
that's
has,
just his speciality. Yeah.
He's the one who has the Arcana.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
The battlesmith
fuck.
rolls is what he buffs across the whole
Yeah,
army.
damn. I was
Yeah.
fucking imagining like
just a dozen dudes.
Yeah, a
going,
whole bunch of guys
"Rah!"
doing all that shit. That'd be fucking psycho. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's a little bit too psycho.
Because then you could have like that would actually be like a useful thing for like that guy in Auxilia squad to be able to do. Just suddenly go
that'd be
straight
wild,
10
yeah.
AP1. He'd just be like, use ultimate sanction.
But also,
That'd be
can you
sick.
imagine if like every solar auxilia tech priest dude was doing the one where you take over the other guy's vehicles?
Yeah.
It's just
Dump him out, boys.
It's taking over like 3 times a turn. Just they're running the barrels red. You're firing more with their tanks than they are. Like, just stop.
That'd be great. Imagine you like dump out one unit, they have to bail out of a vehicle, and then you use the vehicle they got out of to shoot them.
Oh.
Or you'd make a unit bail out of a vehicle and then make like a fucking, like a Punisher nearby,
Well,
just turn its
actually-
minigun on them.
Now that you mention it, what about... We talked about the Archimandrite.
Yeah, right.
He can choose
An
an
additional.
additional Cybertheurgic Arcana from those available to it.
Okay. Which is just the basic.
Yeah, I think it might be, yeah. Yeah, no, that's just from those, the first 3.
Mm.
Oh, to be fair, though, the first one is the take over the vehicle one. Or the third one is, So, he could either do range battlesmithing and cybernetica stuff,
Yeah.
or he could do, like, take over vehicles and ranged battlesmithing,
Mm.
or take over vehicles and cybernetica
And the
stuff.
Archimandrite allows you to take an allied reductor.
Well, then you take an
Archmagos.
allied reductor, dude. Yeah,
So
so
he
then
can-
it could work.
Yeah, so he can dump a vehicle, and then this guy can take the vehicle over.
Well, actually,
So
sorry.
they need to hang out together in the same
That's
squad, so they're both in range.
If that's what you're trying to pull off,
Yeah.
your Magos Dominus, they can in fact take the Ephemera Incursus, which is the take over someone's vehicle one. So if you took Reductor,
Wow.
your Archmagos could pile people out of vehicles, and then you could even use a Magos Dominus to take over that same vehicle they've fallen out of, and just fire the quad las cannons into the back of the dudes that just got out,
Yeah.
just to really troll people.
Yeah. Or someone go, yeah, holy shit, that's so crazy.
Good times with hacking the Matrix.
Yeah, there's so many good like combos there.